Hey folks, hope you're having a good evening. Today we're continuing our Space Haven Alpha 12 tutorial playthrough. Let's get started. By the way, I've added the chat overlay to my visible output, so if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll think that I'm slightly less insane when I start talking to myself. Currently we are salvaging the SGS Persephone, also picking up energy. It looks like we already finished our trades with the Nereid. I think they didn't have anything that we wanted to buy from them, really. We sold a little bit of stuff to them for profit, but I think we're done with that now. In terms of research, we're working towards CO2 production so we can expand our grow bed footprint here. And we're also getting ready, as soon as we get our first manufacturing. Oh, solar flare. I forgot about the solar flare. Oh, solar flare. Okay, so solar flare, what happens during a solar flare is everything basically catches on fire. Anything that's full of energy, like these power nodes, the generators, will basically generate heat. And the heat just kind of shows up at various points, along the power network throughout the ship. So things are going to randomly catch fire all over the place. What we want to do here is we want to close all the vents to try to minimize the damage. We want to go to spacesuits on. We need to bring our crew back from the ship, from the derelicts. We're going to suspend all of our salvage operations. And we're going to suspend our mining operations so that we have people on board to help fight fires. We're going to shut down our generators for what it's worth. I think it's a little late for that to really help. Penny looks like... So we have to be careful. Now, we could start fighting this fire instantly with Penny here, but we don't really want to do that because Penny's going to suffer severe injuries from working in this very hot room surrounded by fire and smoke. What we really want to do is get everybody in their spacesuits before we start the firefighting to try to get things under control. We also need to micromanage the crew a little bit because the AI is not terribly bright. We want to make sure that we get all of our guys firefighting and that they're not working on whatever other project they feel like working on. So Penny here is going to fight the fire up in this section. Now, sometimes if the guys are in the same areas of the ship, it sort of makes sense a lot of times to help. What do I want to say? It makes sense sometimes to have them work on the same fire. Catherine is going to help with the industrial section. I think the fire here may already be under control. Let's see. I think we're going to need the most help here in the cafe. Let's have Catherine go work on that. Where's the shuttle? I think the shuttle is going to pick up more crew members, which is good. Okay, Woodrow. It looks like he's currently already working on fighting the fire, but he's got his work cut out for him. We're going to try to get the fire under control in the crew section first. I think the grow beds down here, the plants here are a lost cause. They're already dead. And these plants are about to die too. The whole ship is... Is she... One of the difficult things about firefighting once it starts to get out of control is it's hard to kind of see what things are still on fire and where the crew needs to be. I think, thanks to the quick action of our crew here, I think the fires may all be out at this point. Let's undraft and see what our crew does. I think we have some very hot rooms, but I think there's no actual flames left, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, we're doing repairs already. Okay, so we've mitigated the worst of the damage. What we want to do now is we want to start up the generators again. That'll get our life support systems working to start clearing out the smoke and restore controlled temperatures around the ship. We're going to want to gradually open up. We actually have some plants here that are still alive, so that's pretty good. We want to make sure that we repair our power network. Who's going to do maintenance on this? Let's have Catherine do that. And then we're going to need to repair this node eventually as well. And then we're going to slowly start opening up compartments to get all of the life support sorted out. So I'm going to open up the bathroom here. And these vents will enable all of the heat and toxic gas from the crew compartment here to flow into the industrial section, where the atmosphere will eventually be scrubbed. This one's going to be a little bit trickier. I think in this case we're going to wait until the temperature gets more under control. Once the power node is fixed, these thermal regulators will start to work. And then once the temperature gets down to a safe level where it's not going to harm these plants in the other neighboring section here, then we'll open up this door and let the smoke flow out of that room. The smoke, no, so plants are harmed by heat, and they're harmed by like lack of CO2, but they're not actually harmed by the smoke. So it'll be okay to let the smoke out into this chamber. We need this power node online as well. I think, guys, that we need everybody working and not taking a coffee break. Hopefully we have everybody back on board at this point. We have 2 people that are still on their way back. Okay, we're going to open up this vent so that we get some more CO2 in this area. Let's look at our CO2 levels around the ship. They're going to be pretty low because we haven't got the CO2 producer online yet, and our crew's pretty small. But opening up that vent will help a little bit. And we're just we're going to keep these vents closed until the smoke clears from this section. If we can afford to fast forward a little bit at this point. So that was our first solar flare, I think. Penny's not able to sleep in a spacesuit. Why don't you get to work? We have a fire caused by an accident during a repair job. That's unfortunate. Can we get everybody to work on that and get that under control quickly so that we don't have to do this all over again? Okay. Looks like we're okay now. Okay, Elaine is attempting repairs again on this node. Yeah, you can see we're starting to clear smoke out of this half of the room already. This is our gas scrubber over here. So have low CO2 in this area. Let's check the temperature over in this. This is back down to a controlled temperature. So at this point we can start opening these vents. Let's see how the temperatures are. See, these areas are still very hot, so we don't want to open the vents over here. We want to let this all cool down and go back to normal before we open the vents between the plant section and the industrial and living quarters. Yeah, 114 degrees centigrade is pretty hot. Pretty hot. It will help things cool off faster, though, if we can open some vents into surrounding areas. So we will, for that reason, open vents into the shuttle bay. Okay, let's allow people to take off their spacesuits if they're in a safe area, so that people can, you know, find a quiet place to sleep if they need to. That will also help with our CO2 issues that we're having with the grow beds here, eventually. I think we may actually want to build 1 or 2 extra gas scrubbers here. Let's see if we can get something online to help clear out the gas. Where do we want our new gas scrubber to be? I was thinking initially these 2 slots here could be extra storage, but I think let's make them supplemental life support for now. We'll have a gas scrubber working over on this end. We'll make that high priority. Catherine is passed out. Oh, look at this. Penny is actually carrying Catherine to safety. That's a feature that they didn't used to have in previous versions of the game. So I'm kind of happy to see that. Looks like she's carrying her to a bed, maybe. Yeah, okay. She's still in her spacesuit, but now she's at least resting. Is she? No, she's not in her spacesuit. Okay. We still have a low CO2 over here. Let's check our temperatures again. Temperature is pretty much back to normal on most of the ship. So let's go ahead and... I think we can open everything at this point and just let the smoke clear out. Okay, now that that's all taken care of, let's go back to our mining and salvage ops. So there's a lot of mayhem on board the ship, but we didn't suffer any real substantial harm. The main thing was losing a crop of plants from one of our grow beds. Okay, we got our second gas scrubber online, so that's pretty good. And I think the CO2 producer is also going to go in this corner once we get the research done. Oh, we need a safe place to remove the spacesuits. There should be safe places now where you can do that. I think we're good. Okay, let's let our crew rest now that we've got the fires and everything under control. Except for the one guy who went over on the ship here, I think. No, maybe not. Oh, he's on his way back over too. Okay, so Anand, you also need some rest. So I'm forcing them to sleep differently from the normal cycle to make sure that everybody recovers if they've taken any burns or injuries, or they're just fatigued from being in a spacesuit for a long time. Like Penny here is very fatigued. Okay, and let's make sure everybody eats as well. So we'll give them an hour to rest. And these two guys, once they've recovered a little bit, we'll give them some coffee break time as well. Okay, I think they need food. Just looking at all their debuffs, they're feeling hungry and so forth. Better to have them have some energy. Okay, and now things are back to normal, so that's pretty good. And let's resume all of our transfers of cargo from ship to ship here. Now they're going to their normal bedtime. I think it's worth giving them the extra rest. We have another potential trading partner. I'm not sure whether we've traded with this ship or not already, the civilians that are coming in here. But we're going to be in the sector for a little while because we still have to do all that salvaging on board the derelict. And I think that'll be long enough for us to finish this CO2 production. And as soon as we're done with that, then we can start growing some more meat. We only have one bed doing that right now, so we're still having some protein deficiencies. Okay, we have the CS Pathfinder. These guys have a lot of ice, which we don't really need right now. They want plastic, so we're going to sell them some units of plastic for profit. Excuse me. And the question I'm wondering about is, do we want to buy a couple more blue... Excuse me. Got the hiccups. Yeah, I think that's good. So we're not going to buy any blue crystals from them because we got plenty right now and they're kind of expensive. But we'll sell them some plastic to save up money for later. And we're leaving all the infra scrap behind here because it's just cluttering up our storage at this point. We have enough to produce like 16 more infra blocks or 17 more infra blocks if we want to. And we already have 30 in storage. Let's start producing a couple hull blocks though. There we go. So we're spending another day in this sector. I'm going to start the whole block production in the morning. And our research is at 89%. There's these piles and piles of monster corpses. We could, if we wanted to, we could eject some of this stuff into space. There's an option that's like, trying to remember where that option is actually. There used to be an option that was like eject corpse, but I don't know where to find it anymore. I think they changed the menus a little bit. CO2 producer, composter. Okay, we don't need a composter. That's just to conserve water. We're basically done with our nutrition at this point, at least the essential stuff. We could go for fiber if we wanted to produce things like medical supplies, but I think it makes a lot more sense for us to go into manufacturing, because then we can start producing weapons for our crew. Once we get the metal refinery online, we'll have the steel plates, which are one of the things that we need to make rifles and stuff like that. And that'll enable us to get into some boarding combats, which get a lot of resources if we're willing to take some risk. So since we've got that research done, let's get our CO2 production online. I think this is a pretty good spot for it. This is not the most efficient layout probably, but it'll work. I think we can probably put another vent here to allow CO2 to flow easily into this other room as well. Oh, no, we can't. Let's think about this for a second. I don't want the gas scrubber. It doesn't make sense for the gas scrubber to be right next to the CO2 scrubber, so I think we're going to dismantle that. I want to have an air vent going through this wall. So I think that means that the CO2 scrubber is going to be kind of in between the two rooms. Or sorry, the CO2 producer. It's going to be kind of in between the two rooms back there. That should be good. That even leaves us room for a small storage still here, I think. Yeah. Cool. So now that we have that, we got to make sure that we have some carbon available for the CO2 production. But if we do that, we can start thinking about growing a little bit of extra food so that we can have stores in case something goes wrong with our grow beds. I think the threshold we had set before for some of these other growth jobs was 16. So let's go ahead and start growing some serious meat and these other things as well. And we want to scatter the different types of grow bed production, the different types of food production between our grow beds. We don't want to have all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak. Temperature in here is okay-ish. I still think we need one more thermal regulator, but we can't really fit one here without building another power node. Let's see about the power node location, actually. Can we move it? Now that we have a little bit more hull space here to play with, we can actually move this down. I'm gonna move it here because we know that we're not going to build anything. We're not going to build a hull further here because this is the airlock exclusion zone. If you look at the build hull, this area, this like 7x7 square area in front of the airlock is unbuildable. So we could though start building. How many hull blocks do we have? We've only got 3. But we could build the carter around here to give our crew multiple routes that they can take to get to the grow bed area, which I think is a good idea, just to give them more pathing options. What happened here? Oh, guys, don't go to bed with the grow bed power down. Give me that. Alright. Let's give them, like, I think 3 more hours of work should do it. There we go. Okay, now that that's sorted, We have power to this section again. Oh, the plants need light now. That's a new feature. It used to be that the plants didn't care about light. But I guess the grow bed itself provides enough light for the plants to thrive most of the time. Another thing that we can think about doing with the setup here is adding some walls to go to the outside. That'll also help with the lighting situation. So we could add a window here. I kind of want this one to match the one that's on the shuttle bay on the other side, just for aesthetic reasons, so... but that thermal regulator's in the way, so I'm gonna have to make it a little shorter, unfortunately. Unless I wanted to move that, which I guess I could do. Yeah, that'll be good. So just to give our plants some extra light here. Could also think about lighting up the central corridor just to provide some more comfort for the crew, but with the noise from the power generator, it's probably not going to make a huge difference. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a huge impact here. We could put some light like in this corner. There we go, just make it a little bit brighter. Okay, we got our new thing here. In order to compartmentalize this, we should put some doors in. Let's put one up by the shuttle bay and one down here so that we have this little compartment standing by itself. Let's take a look at the temperature of this new section here. It's very cold. It's slowly heating up, but we probably want to have a thermal regulator somewhere in the vicinity, if not in that section. We're out of power nodes here. I think eventually we're going to build more. We're going to build the ship wider and have more stuff over here. So let's go ahead and build a power node here. And we can have another window facing the outside where the shuttles are coming in. And the mining pods, of course. Unfortunately, this wasn't close enough to link. I'm gonna see if I can get this to link around. No, it's not long enough. We need like one more power node over here to link the grid together in a loop so that the power can flow in either direction. Okay, we're out of hull blocks again. We have enough scrap to get one more hull block. I think we may be done with the salvaging and mining at this point. Let's double check. Yeah, we're done with salvaging, so let's leave the sector and move on. Hopefully we'll find another derelict, get a couple more hull blocks, because I want to expand our industry section a little bit. Oh, we've got this claimable ship here. So I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, but claimable ships are a sweet deal because you can get lots of like tech blocks, energy blocks, and infra blocks directly from the ship by claiming it instead of just turning it into a derelict. Okay, so we're going to send our first away team here. Missing somebody. There we go. Okay, we're going to dock at one of the designated locations here. Just waiting for the shuttle to arrive. There we go. So because we can salvage basically every block here, we're going to try to avoid collateral damage as much as possible, which means we don't want to shoot at like vital systems like, you know, the kitchen or... Oh boy. Lenny, look out. Lenny's in trouble. I don't know what we're going to do here. I think you better stand and fight. Okay, Lenny's going to run now that that immediate threat is gone. Lenny's about to get knocked unconscious. I think he'll be okay as long as we keep him in the back and protect him with our other crew members. Let's move Catherine back a little bit too. think she's this shotgun wielder, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, the presence of those big eyes often indicates that there's a nest on board. We want to try to get to the nest quickly, if that's true. So let's head directly that way, so we don't see any creep in these neighboring areas. Looks like we might be okay. Maybe there's no nest after all. Okay, we've explored the Pandora. Lenny, you're gonna go home and go back to bed for like 2 hours. We're gonna undraft the shuttle, and then I'm gonna let our crew go home before we start the salvaging process, so that to make sure that Lenny gets back okay. Now, this is an interesting opportunity for us. If we wanted, we could take this ship and build that as a replacement for the ship that we've already built. This is a 2x2 ship, which is the same size as our ship. And the major advantage to doing that would be that we get a level 3 power generator, which is super efficient compared to what we have now. We have the X1 generators, which are much more efficient than the generators you start with, but the X3 is way more efficient than that in turn. The problem is it would probably take us a long time to build this with our only, what do we have, 2 construction pods, and we don't have a lot of hull blocks to work with. So we'd have to do it kind of incrementally, dismantling sections of our ship here and moving stuff over, and it'd be a very long, drawn-out process. I think in our current state that we're in, it makes more sense for us to dismantle the ship and take the resources. So let's claim this, in either case. We're going to set up transfer rules to empty out everything. And then let's demolish this reactor. Sorry, bud. And we're just going to start picking up. I'm going to take the stuff that's valuable first. This is worth some soft blocks that might have food in it. This has got tech blocks. That's tech blocks and energy blocks. Those are the major things. The power nodes are worth energy blocks. We're also going to want to start taking hull blocks, but let's try to get all of the other block types out first. So I'm going to focus on these major resources, and then we're going to pick up the other stuff gradually later. Oh, we can also get some soft blocks by dismantling the beds, tables, and chairs here. Almost got the metal refinery online. We've got 1 hull block to work with to try to improve our ship's footprint to give us more industry space. I think if we demolish... Yeah, I think once we've demolished this power node, we can take this room and start removing some of the hull plating. It's just like our own ship, we can demolish hull on board the derelict here, the quote-unquote derelict. Let's also take a look at our crew's ship assignment and make sure that the folks who are not working on derelicts are not able to work on Pandora, which is the new ship that we found here. And nobody's allowed to eat or take a break over there. Incoming ship next turn. How's our food supplies doing? We're still quite low. I think we're just barely producing enough right now. I really want to expand this a little bit, but I think having room for industry is more important at this point. Okay, the metal refinery is going to take up a bunch of space, so we're going to have to use all of our available hull block capacity to make room for that. I think the next thing we want is an assembler, which will enable us to manufacture our own hull blocks so we don't have to rely on scrap anymore. Once we get that, we'll be able to basically expand our ship arbitrarily at a whim using raw materials like the base metals, noble metals, and carbon. Okay, we have a civilian ship in the sector. It's the Pathfinder. I think we traded with these guys before, maybe? Yeah, we sold them a bunch of plastic. They still have a bunch of ice, which we don't need. They have a bunch of infra blocks. Okay, so let's start thinking about dismantling. Now that we got the expensive stuff mostly dismantled, let's start adding infra block dismantling to the queue here, so we can save those up. Because when we go to build a second ship later, it'll be good to have a lot of extra infra blocks. And we can also sell them if we need to in a pinch. Now, lights, you can dismantle technically everything on board the ship here, but lights and walls aren't really worth anything. They're just worth tools, basically. So we're going to ignore those. I'm trying to make sure that I don't mess up the crew's pathing as I'm dismantling here. I want to leave them places where they can walk so they don't get stuck anywhere weird. Okay, we have an android ship in the sector. I don't think we traded with this one. This is the Nereid. Maybe we have. Oh, they have carbon. We should... They don't want plastic. I think we should buy some more carbon, especially now that we're using it for our CO2 producers, and I think we can afford it. Yeah, that's only 800 credits for another 10 units of carbon. I think that's a pretty good deal. Even though... Yeah. Let's see. The carbon's gonna help us out once we start with the industrial manufacturing here. Let's also start working on our hull expansion here, that what I was talking about a minute ago. I think I want my new industry to be over here. We have this recycler already completely walled off, so that's pretty good. What's the minimum footprint for a metal refinery? It should be about like that. I think that should be enough space. We'll see about that in a second. I don't know if we'll have enough hull blocks to complete that construction, but we'll see. By the time we're done demolishing this, we will. We're still waiting for this to be dismantled. We could start demolishing some of the hull over here. There we go. That'll probably give us enough scrap for another hull block. Start working on the scrap that we've already got on board. We've also got some base metals available here. We might as well take those when we can. These guys don't have any steel plates for sale, do they? No. Okay, let's take a look at our metal refinery and see if the footprint matches up with what we have here. This technically... No, it doesn't really fit in this space. It would technically fit in this space, but it's going to create an impassable area. I want to expand a little bit to avoid doing that, so let's expand about like that. Do we have some more hull scrap on board yet? No, we don't. So we have to wait for that hull scrap to be harvested and then recycled. I don't want to demolish this section because that's kind of like the carter that goes to the rest of the ship. It makes it easier for the crew to traverse that. Okay, we got hull scrap now, so... let's see... 5, 6, that should be another 2 hull blocks by the time that's done. And we got the metal refinery, which is sweet. Let's check our power grid and make sure that's in range. Doesn't show where the power node is, but I think it will be. If not, we can always put another large power node in this little nook here. Might also be a good place for another thermal regulator. Actually, what we could do is move this item fabricator guy over there. I think it's not going to make a huge difference either way. They must have damaged this during construction. Okay, so now for steel plates, these are like intermediate products that aren't normally used for anything by themselves. We're just gonna have set up rules to produce a couple of them. And for electronics components, we sometimes use them for like repairing shuttlecraft and things like that, so we'll have a couple more of them on hand. There we go. And let's make sure our crew can actually see what they're doing over here. And the temperature over here is very hot, so we're going to put in another thermal regulator, like I mentioned a minute ago. Okay, how's our... We're still dismantling stuff over on board the other ship here. We can dismantle this... let's empty out the storage. And there's another table here that I missed. So with that being done, we can start cranking out assault rifles. We already have them queued. As soon as the metal refinery is working, then we'll start getting weapons for our crew. There we go. You can see the item fabricator has now been supplied. I think our ship is getting big enough and busy enough now that we could think about adding some logistics robots. I think that might be our next research topic. We also have the means to produce them now that we have the item fabricator and the metal refinery. Although we'll have to purchase power cells for them periodically because we don't have the capability to make those yet. Okay, let's take a look at our arsenal here. So we have 3 assault rifles. Who among our main away team still doesn't have a weapon? Looks like Lenny and Woodrow. So you two guys are going to come over here and pick up items from storage. Pass out the weapons here. And now we can start working in earnest on our second away team. So these two... Actually, we only have 1 assault rifle left currently, right? So Lauren is going to get the first rifle for our second away team. The assault rifles are great because they give a bonus to accuracy, which is, kind of a big deal. When you get a crew together with assault rifles, it can be pinpoint accurate and it's super effective. Let's see, Anand. Now, do we have another rifle here ready? We do have rifles ready, so let's go ahead and have Anand be armed. So now we have 2 away teams, although one of them only has 2 people. Eden and Elaine could be away team members in a pinch, but we need at least 1 person to stay on board the ship probably at all times. Or we will eventually anyway, once we have shields. Maybe we fully commit to the away team concept. I think it makes more sense for us to send everybody. So Eden and Elaine gonna go over here, and one of them is gonna get a rifle. So that was Eden that has a rifle, and we're waiting for a rifle for Elaine now. Let's take a look at our salvaging progress over here. We've actually stripped pretty much everything. We can dismantle the storage and then take the rest of the hull for scrap. I'm not going to bother demolishing the windows individually. We'll just kind of take most of it, what we have here. And then I think we'll be done in this sector. At some point we have to start worrying about our Hyperium crystal usage, because we're starting to run on the medium-low side. These guys, I think Don't need any more plastic or anything. Yeah, there's nothing we can really sell them. The stuff that we're producing, they already have in abundance. We could sell energy blocks, but I kind of want to save them for making weapons and shields. They are giving us a good price though, so maybe we'll sell a couple of them. And then I think we're gonna take on a couple of energy cells. What's our carbon like? 19. It's pretty good. We're gonna take on like 2 more energy cells so we can power some logistics robots. And then we're going to fill the rest of the hold with carbon. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the logistics robots would be nice, but what we really need right now is medical facilities so that we can start working on assembler is done. If we get the autopsy table in the medical bed, then we'll be able to treat wounded folks from after a boarding action. We also need to work on building a second hull stabilizer. So we need to, for that, we need to expand and get a... Okay, we're out of hull scrap right now. So we're gonna have to get some more hull scrap from these guys. Do these guys have any hull blocks available for sale? They have 1 hull block for 247 credits. Not worth it. So if we're able to find a little more space, we can get an assembler online. We can produce our own hull blocks. I actually think that we could fit one in this space, maybe near the grow beds, although it's not ideal. But that'll give us enough capacity to just produce more hull blocks and make the space however we want it to be. Put an extra thermoregulator in there to deal with the heat from the assembler. There we go. Now we can start some hull block production. Let's produce like 10 hull blocks. Let's make it 11 actually. Hold on 1 second. Alright, I gotta step away for 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're starting hull block production here. Our first couple hull blocks are going to go into giving us a place to put a hull stabilizer, and we're also going to expand our industry section to make room for the assembler, so we don't have to have it near our plants. I think this is a good area to do both of those things. Let's see if we can fit them both in that area. So it's going to be a minute while we're constructing hull blocks here. I noticed that we've gone through most of our stash of blue crystals here. So we've got to keep an eye on that, even though we have 20 energy rods still after that. Beautiful. Okay. So let's put in a second hull stabilizer. This makes my layout, now that I've got that hole in my hull filled in, it makes my layout seem very wacky. Let me think about this for a second. I think we want this to be sealed off kind of like that. I want room to be able to expand the generator later. So I think... maybe something like that would be okay. Trying to figure out how I can get a door through here. It doesn't look like one will fit in this section. But maybe I can... I think if I straighten out this wall, I could put a door over here where people can come through. So just trying to restore the ship to a compartmentalized design here. Yeah, we're definitely getting overwhelmed at this point. We have not enough people to do all the tasks that we want done. Having a door going through the middle here will definitely help. I think while we're slumbering here, we should probably be moving on to another sector. Now that we've got the ability to manufacture hull blocks, I don't think it makes a lot of sense for us to stick around and keep scrapping hull scrap from this ship. What we really need to find is more hyperfuel and more energy. So we're going to travel here while the crew's asleep. Oh, and we found some hyperfuel. Nice. Let's try to deal with the Merchant Federation ship here. For some reason it doesn't want to let me click on that Merchant Federation ship. Since my interface is glitching a little, I'm going to save it real quick. Just in case we're like running out of memory or something. You see this panel is not working. Wonder minimizing the game will help. Okay, that seemed to... no, that's just still an asteroid. Incoming micrometeoroids. We don't like those, but I want to stick around anyway. The only thing is we're in the midst of reconstructing our wall, so our ship is kind of vulnerable to micrometeorite strikes right now. Let's slow things down a little bit and close our vents such as they are to try to limit the damage. They broke our CO2 producer. Okay, I'm going to report this as a bug real quick because we're having an issue where the display at the bottom left isn't coming up anymore. Okay, and I'm going to restart the game real quick. Or at least let's exit to the main menu and then load again. See if that fixes the issue. Okay, that did not fix the issue, so we're going to do a full restart. Sorry about this, guys. Keep in mind the game is still in alpha. We're also playing in the experimental branch, so we're a little bit more likely to encounter bugs than normal. At least the whole game didn't crash, though. That's better. So I haven't been hit by the meteorite shower yet, but it'll probably show up here in a minute or two. Okay, let's suspend our mining activities while that's happening, because crew members can suffer concussion if they get hit while they're in a pod. And let's close our vents. Let's make sure somebody's fixing this immediately. It looks like Elaine's already on it. He's gotta go get a spacesuit first, maybe? I'm not sure what he's doing. He's going looking for a spacesuit, yeah. I was gonna go fix the breach. Okay, we got that wall mostly sealed up. As soon as we get a... Let's have Elaine, who's already in a spacesuit, go fix that as well. Now notice as the hull breaches are damaging stuff, yeah, things get broken when they're in a breached area, so we're gonna have to go around and fix things. We finished our autopsy research. Meteor shower is still ongoing, so we don't want to relax yet. Okay, as soon as this is dismantled, then we can put a door in, and then this section will be sealable. Click on the vent view here and see where the breach is. There it is. Elaine's already on it. Here we go. Okay, meteor shower's over. We saw that icon go away, so we can open all of our vents again. And now we have a door going through here, so that's pretty nice. We want to make sure that our power nodes get repaired, because otherwise we'll be stuck if we have to get out of here in a hurry. And I think we want another door over on this corner here. Where's my buddy Elaine here? Here he is. Yeah, these lights will get fixed automatically with time. Alright, so now let's put in our door for this section. And now we wanted to move the assembler over here, and we were also thinking about putting a hull stabilizer. Let's take a look at the resources that are in here. We've got 2 steel plates. I think we'll get them back if we demolish this. So we're just going to go ahead and dismantle this assembler here. Actually, we can move it from here over to here somewhere. Let's see if we can leave room here for a hull stabilizer in the middle. Let's also check our power grid. We're good. And here's our second stabilizer. Now each stabilizer gives us 50 hit points. We'll need that in a minute. We can't fit that there because of the lights on the wall. We can delete those. It's fine. And I think we can still put a light in this square here. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, now let's reinstate our hull block production. And while we're here, let's also set up a rule for infra blocks so we can produce them if we ever run low, which we currently don't have an issue with right now. We can't produce soft blocks because we don't have any fabric, so I'm not going to bother with that. We are down to 2 blue crystals. Oh, let's get the rest of this Hyperium on board, and then we'll be ready to leave the sector. Oh, Lauren's actually injured. She got a concussion like I was talking about a minute ago. So we gotta keep an eye on her health a little bit. Activate this extra little bit of hull so we can have another grow bed in this corner here. Let's have Lauren rest. Oops. What's she doing? I think she's in the pod, maybe. Oh, she's mining, yeah. When she gets back to the ship, we'll assign her some rest. Fire on board. Where's that? We see a guilty crew member walking away nonchalantly from the site of the fire. Lauren is actually healed from her concussion, so we don't have to give her any special rest assignment. She toughed it out. Okay, and as soon as this pod gets back on board, we're ready to leave the sector. I'm going to look at our away teams for a minute here before we depart. I think we were going to put everybody on, right? So at least I think we should leave one person behind to like fix hull breaches if the enemy ship shoots at us with missiles or if there's a hull breach or something. Mining, botany, construction. This seems like a good person to leave behind. Or no, that seems like a good person to leave behind. So we're gonna take Eden with us as our last away team member. Oh, she's already got a weapon. Does everybody have a weapon already? Everybody has a weapon already. Perfect. We could even give Elaine a weapon, even though he's not an away team member. But I think I'd rather save it and use the rifle as a trade good if we need it. Okay, we have missing power node coverage over here. There we go. Okay, now we can start some more grow beds over here. I think that should be more than enough grow beds for a crew this size. We'll see about that in a bit. At least it's enough to keep us from having any nutrition problems. You can see everybody's bar has gone back up to full now, and they no longer have the protein deficiency debuff, so they're back to full health. We did a bunch of building, so I'm going to save it real quick. And then we're going to depart. High body temperature for Eden, that's okay. I'm going to demolish this. I think... Do I demolish this now or wait until we're done with the medical bed? I'm going to demolish this now because I want to build an ops console there. We'll see why in a minute. Okay, and we are completely finished with this sector. We've cleared everything. Or this solar system, rather. How are we doing on base metals? We're okay, we don't need to double back for that. I think it's worthwhile for us to stop at this outpost again and see if there's any other stuff that we want to trade now that we have a bunch of resources. And then after that, we're going to go to the alien sector. Oh, there must be an empty asteroid. Yep. Okay, we're trading with the Elysian Fields. So this is a great place for us to buy more energy, and we have the money for it, but we're going to offset some of the costs by selling them some trade goods. And we have a couple options here. We have chemicals that we can sell. We have hull blocks. We have tech blocks and energy blocks, but we don't really want to sell those. We have some soft blocks, because we have like 30 soft blocks for some reason. Let's start by selling those just because we don't really need them. And I think we're going to buy... We're completely out of blue crystals now, so I think we're just going to go ahead and buy like 20 of them here. We're going to sell some hull blocks as well. We got plenty of carbon and plenty of base metals, so that should be okay. And we're going to sell them some chemicals in addition. But not too many, because our raw chemical supply is starting to get a bit on the low side. Well, I think we can do... They're also not giving us great prices for the chemicals, so maybe let's just sell them a couple units. Check out the discomfort in this corner here. Cult of New Haven ship coming in. You've completed the scenario hints and are ready to venture out on your own. Yeah, so yeah, we did all the tutorial stuff at this point. Probably could have done... I mean, we had an ops console earlier, right? Could have completed the tutorial before this, if we really wanted to. Okay, so somebody, a friend of mine mentioned to me when he was looking at my first couple of videos on YouTube that I completely glossed over talking about the factions. So let's talk a little bit about the factions now. I'm going to go to the star map so we can see the legend, talk about all the different factions. The factions tab here shows us the factions that are in the game and our relationship to each faction. If you're playing in harsh difficulty, the Slavers Guild and the Pirates are both going to be hostile by default, and everybody else is going to be neutral. Neutral factions you can trade with, even if they have a negative rep towards you, and even if you don't have an operations console. I never really figured out if there's any particular value to having factions be allied as opposed to neutral. They might be more inclined to help you out if you're in trouble, but we would have to experiment and see about that. There is an option when you negotiate with somebody to offer them gifts, but the gifts are very expensive, so I usually don't go for that. The Slavers Guild and Pirate Coalition. Slavers, they tend to have ships that have very tiny compartments that are like living quarters for the slaves, and their layouts are a little bit maze-like. They tend to have slaves on board, usually at least one or two, so you have the opportunity to get more crew members if you take over a Slavers Guild ship. Any faction ship, actually, if you take them over, you can take prisoners, which is what we're about to do in a minute here. Any of the neutral factions, we could obviously antagonize them and declare war on them. They won't help us out anymore, but that'll give us lots of resources. I'm thinking we're going to attack the Cult of New Haven, which are these guys here that just got into the sector. We do have to be aware we have a military alliance ship coming into the sector. Military alliance, if we're in one of the quote-unquote safe sectors denoted by a shield here, they'll actually try to ask us to come on board and inspect our ships for contraband, but we're not in one of those sectors right now, and I don't think we have any contraband on board. Contraband will be indicated by a red box around the resource. I think the only contraband in the game right now is human meat, as of the current game version. So, hey, Exquisite TV. Welcome back. Good to see you, man. Sorry I didn't have my chat up there because I just restarted the game. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, we're gonna go invade this ship, the Nightfall. It's worth taking a look at how big enemy ships are before you decide whether you want to fight them. The number of squares is a general indication of strength. Here, this is a 1 square ship, so yeah, for sure, man. I'm starting to get to the point where I think I've experienced all the content by this point, so I think if they haven't released any new features at the end of this playthrough, I might move on to other stuff just because I've played this game for like over 300 hours now. But I think when they, every time they introduce new features, I'll probably come back to it just to try out the new stuff and see how it is. So I'm still enjoying myself, but I kind of got through like the challenges of the content at this point. Yeah, it is really relaxing. It's nice to be able to just kind of design your ship how you want. So even when you get into combat, it's not like super intense. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and load up both of our shuttles here. And what I'm going to do is we're going to declare war on... Oh, hey there, how's it going? I heard a StarCraft sound, but I didn't see who... Oh, that was you. Thanks for the points or bits or whatever. Here we go. So we're going to go ahead and dock. Now, there's only one docking port here on the Cult of New Haven ship. But what I like to do is I like to manually choose a docking location and then have my away teams dock on either side of the airlock so they can both enter kind of at the same time. Now, we're neutral to these guys, so they're not going to try to do anything to try to prevent our away team from coming over. So we're going to have the advantage of surprise. Hi neighbors, we're coming over to trade. Yes. It is good to finally meet you, face to face. Okay, now as soon as we disembark from the shuttles, they're going to know something's up. And we get this prompt reminding us, are you sure you want to do this? You're going to declare war on this faction. And of course we do. So we're going to take our 2 away teams here, and we're going to pile everybody through the airlock as quickly as possible. It's 4 a.m. in Journey. Have a good night. Thank you, you too. Take care. Alright, so we're going to take this nice and slow because boarding actions are quite dangerous. The ideal thing that we want to do here is we want to get to the bridge as quickly as possible because sometimes, I don't know if you saw that, but when you hear that sound, those guys are actually shooting at our ship right now. So, fortunately, they don't have any missiles, so they're not going to punch any holes in our hull. But if we stick around doing this long enough, they'll eventually destroy our ship. So, we want to make sure that we hurry. Now, rather than fighting these guys in this corridor, I'm going to try to get to the bridge, where we can score some easy captures of crew members who are not available to defend themselves. I've taken a wrong turn here. It doesn't look like the bridge is available, but let's see if I can blast a hole in the wall or something. It doesn't look like I have that option, so we're just gonna line up here and wait for them to come through that door. Let's have somebody open it. Oh, this isn't great. I was kind of hoping that they would walk in front of the door here. They're probably gonna be waiting right on the other side. No. There they are. Okay. So again, we're going to make a beeline for the bridge. They've gone the other way. So what I'm going to do here, I'm pausing the game so we can micromanage our dudes. I want to park one guy behind each member of the bridge crew to get them to surrender and make sure that my other guys don't shoot at them so that they don't get up from their stations. You'll see what happens here. As soon as one of my guys gets behind one of those guys, they'll immediately surrender because we snuck up on them and caught them off guard while they were working on attacking our ship. We also have to keep track of our gunfight that's going on up here. We see that Catherine is wounded. Now, every time a crew member gets wounded, whether they're friendly or enemy, they get a roll about whether or not they're going to surrender. When a crew member surrenders, they're no longer under your control. So you got to be very careful about how you place your guys. Surrendered people are also not able to take injury. So you can see here we're shooting past Vash and shooting Anna because Vash has surrendered. Once everybody on board the ship has surrendered, then we'll get the option to talk to them, as you see here. So we have this little green dialogue. We're going to take one of our crew members and send them to go talk to the members of the other ship. Okay, they've accepted a ceasefire, so anytime you fight another ship and defeat them, they'll offer you a bunch of resources if you want them. Since we've already boarded and taken over the ship, it makes sense for us to just take all the resources that they have on board and leave the ship derelict instead of negotiating with them. This also gives us the opportunity to get new crew members by recruiting prisoners and converting them over to our cause. So now that the combat's over, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to see which of my guys are bleeding, which are the ones that have the red icons here. I'm going to take the 3 guys that are bleeding, and I'm going to put them on a shuttle and send them back. And we're going to pick somebody to go back with them, because we have a 4th space on our shuttle. Let's take a look at what we have here. Mining, botany, navigation. This person is brave, and they have an iron stomach. I think we're going to take Vash with us. So we're going to say, follow me. And then once he does that little hands up gesture to show that he's following, we're going to bring him with us through the airlock over to the shuttle. Now, as for the rest of these guys, we're going to decide whether we want to bring them on board. We're probably going to want to send a second shuttle back with a partial complement. The other thing I can do is start exploring here. We can shift right-click to queue exploration in multiple areas using waypoints, just like in StarCraft, if you remember that game. And we're gonna have our crew explore as quickly as possible by giving them multiple crew members exploring different areas. Okay, we've explored the Nightfall. Very good. We don't want to leave these guys on board their ship unattended because they will take control of the ship again. What I want to do is I want to figure out who we're bringing on board. I want to bring some of our own crew members and their crew back. We have to build a prison section for them, so let's place some hull for that. Prison section doesn't have to be super large. I think this space back here could be enough, but I kind of want to save that for a hyperdrive. It would sort of make sense for it to be near the crew quarters, but there isn't any real convenient location for it. And I want it to be someplace that's comfortable, so it can't be too close to the industrial stuff over here or to the hangars. I think we're going to expand this area and see if that's comfortable enough once we wall it off to make a good prison. Our prisoners are going to be just hanging out on the ship for some time before we're able to give them accommodations. Botany, construction, industry. This person's really useful. I don't know if they're going to survive. Actually, they're doing okay, hit points wise. This person, we get some great finds here. We got like 3 botanists, and one of them also does industry, and they're all brave. So this is we got some good new recruits coming on board here. The other options we have, by the way, we can tell them to stop following us. We can release them, which, because they're an enemy faction, they'll immediately start fighting us again, so I don't know why we want to do that. And we can execute them, killing them instantly. Which, in my opinion, is a waste of resources most of the time, but if you want to be very picky about who you're bringing on board, that would be one way to go about it. I think we're going to have these 2 return to their normal duties, and Eden's going to stay on the ship until all the prisoners have been evacuated. Let's look at what we got in terms of loot. So in our transfer here, now, taking over an enemy ship always gives you really great loot. We got some hyperspace crystals, we got some energium and energy rods, which is just what we need. We've even got some hull blocks. We got every different type of food. I mean, basically, we're just going to take everything. But the point is, there's a lot of useful stuff here, so I'm happy about that. because it's a fully functioning ship, not just derelict leavings. Okay, now we now have everybody on board the shuttle, so we're gonna send the shuttle back. They're picking up cargo from the airlock before they leave, which is nice. Merchant Federation is trading with the Military Alliance. Military Alliance is not going to do anything to us unless we specifically piss them off. Maybe they would do something if we attacked a civilian ship, I don't know. Here we go. Okay, so this is supposed to be our new prison area here. We're just going to wall it off like that. And then I think everything we need for the prison we'll be able to fit in this space once the walls are built. Let's go ahead and start building things here. We need a prison area needs to have a kitchen, and we also probably want to have an algae dispenser. We need to have some bunk beds so our prisoners can sleep somewhere. And we want to have at least one like table and chair so that they can sit and eat somewhere. It doesn't have to be super fancy comfy. We're going to give them only one bed here so that we can fit a table and 2 chairs against the wall on the outside here. Another thing that's really good for the prisoners to have is access to an airlock. I think we're going to give them access to the shuttle airlock because it's right near the prisoner section. Prisoners will not, unless you really mistreat them, will not go around and, you know, wander around your ship trying to escape and take stuff over. So we don't have to worry too much. Let's take a look at our power here. Yeah, we need another power node in this section. We were talking about putting a power node here earlier anyway, right? In order to complete this section and complete the loop of our power nodes here. And let's go ahead and set... In order to make this area designated as a prisoner area, we have to use the permissions tab. So I'm going to edit permissions. And then I'm going to set prisoner area. Now there's 3 different types of areas you can set. There's prisoner, refugee, and slave. We don't have any refugees or slaves, so I'm just going to set the prisoner area for right now. We're going to make this area available to them, and I also need to give them a walking path over to the shuttle bay so that they can get suits on if they need to. Now, prisoners are bleeding because, of course, we had a shootout with them, so some of them might not make it because we don't have a medical facility on board, and we don't even have a bed for them to sleep in. Eden can come back now at this point. We'll let her go to bed, and a shuttle will come to pick her up. Let's see. Now, this is a very uncomfortable environment for them. It's okay temperature-wise. Yeah, I think Vash is going to bleed to death here. There's not much we can really do about it because, again, we don't have the medical facility ready yet. And let's put in some lights to make our prisoners comfortable here. Do we have the wall done yet? Wall's not done yet. And I think on the outside walls here, we're going to put in some windows to provide more lighting. And then we're also going to provide them with a thermal regulator because this is kind of an out-of-the-way area that doesn't have a good, comfortable temperature. Hopefully we have enough resources to build all this stuff. I think we do. It's just a matter of time before they get it all put together. Looks like Vash might actually be on the road to recovery, so maybe we'll manage here. Let's try to prioritize the power node and also the bed. Got a ton of civilian ships coming into the sector all of a sudden. It's interesting. Prisoners are complaining, so if we hover over this, we can see what the prisoners are upset about. They have no access to a medical bed, and they have no kitchen, or the kitchen has no food. So they used up all the algae that's in the dispenser here, because we only just built that, and it hasn't grown much algae yet. The kitchen's not online yet, so of course they don't have any food in there. And it's also unpowered. We suddenly have a lot of interest in this sector. We're still transferring stuff over. I don't want to expedite. So we have the option to expedite transfer. If other people start going over to this derelict and start taking stuff off of it, we might use the expedite option. But I'd prefer to try to get the prisoner area constructed first so our prisoners can be comfortable. Let's look at our trading options with our partners over here, though. These guys want plastic. Let's see who's giving us the best price on plastic. That's 365. These guys, nothing. These are organized by price descending, by the way. So I don't see plastic at the top couple items here. I know that they're not giving us a good price for it. So let's go ahead and sell them 6 units of plastic and a shotgun that we picked up from the other ship, I believe. And we're going to buy blue crystals. Do we need them? We don't need them right now. We're okay on carbon right now. There's nothing we terribly need right now. We could, if we wanted to, buy some food to keep our larger crew going here until we recruit the prisoners and expand our grow bed area. But I don't think we necessarily need to do that right now. I do want to buy some more ice, though, so that we can grow more stuff. Yeah, so this is 188, 183. I'm just looking at the sale price of chemicals. Nothing here. 183. Which one was 188? I think it was these guys down here. Yeah. So go ahead and sell. We don't have a lot of raw chemicals. We only have 6, but we can sell. Each raw chemical, I think, is like 2 to 5 chemical units. So we can go ahead and sell some of our chemicals here for profit. And again, we don't have any immediate needs for anything, any resources that these guys have. We've almost got our prisoner section done here. Come on, Vash, you could do it. Pull through, buddy. Yeah, he's got major... I don't think Vash is going to make it, yeah. He's not looking good. At least we have, like, lights and food available for you now. His health keeps bouncing up and down again. He was at 5, now he's up at 11. I mean, I guess he did get a chance to eat, and there's a bed for him to sleep on. We don't necessarily need to have enough beds for the entire... Oh, we don't have a toilet in here. That's my bad. One thing I always forget to build when I'm building a new crew section is a toilet for the crew. So this is going to be our toilet area. Let's expand our sketch here to make it look a little bit less weird. I'm going to put like a weapon system or something here, I think. So this is how many across? 9. Is that right? 5. Yeah, that's right. Just looks a little lopsided because this side of the hull isn't done yet. Oh, and we need to actually build this. Okay, we did build that. That's fine. So the crew, the prisoners are unhappy and uncomfortable right now, but at least they're surviving. We're also going to go ahead and make them a window, a hull window, so they have a little bit more light. Yeah, we'll put it like that. We could also put windows in the walls, which I think is probably a good idea. But I'm going to wait until we're done with all the essential stuff first. Now, each prisoner that we have here, there's a couple options of things that we can do with them. We can ransom them back to their faction if we get a ceasefire in exchange for a small amount of money and resources. We can enslave them if we have an enslavement facility, which is not a thing that I really like to do. And we can potentially recruit them depending on how long they've been on board the ship and been comfortable. Right now, they have a 0.8% chance to convert, which is basically nothing. Usually, I try to recruit them around 5 or 6%. Because they can also rebel if you try to recruit them and they resist recruitment. I made this a little bit wider than it had to be. That's okay, we can fit an extra bed in that space or something, maybe. Let's see. So we want a door here. There's really nothing we can fit in that space. Well, if we put the door on this side, I think we could fit another bed. No, really nothing will fit there. We could fit like an arcade machine or something there later, so let's leave the space for that reason. And let's go ahead and set permissions so that our crew can, or our prisoners can reach that area. And let's see if it has power coverage. It does not, so we're gonna have to build another power node over here. Give them a nice view while they're at their leisure there, right? Like some little bathroom windows. Make it nice and cozy for them. There we go. There's the next rest cycle these guys go through. They should be good again. They should start being comfortable now. And we see that, sure enough, the prisoner complaint tab on the right here is gone. So we see that they're okay. Let's take a look at our cargo transfer. We've actually transferred a bunch of cargo while we were working on the prisoner section here, but we still have some left. Now I like to keep the ship intact while we're transferring cargo and getting people off of it. If you take over an enemy ship without putting any holes in it, you can take advantage of the life support and medical facilities and stuff like that already on board. We could actually send our prisoner back over here and like release them over here and let them go to the medical facility. But I think unfortunately Vash didn't make it. We can see that his body is just lying on the floor here. I really can't remember how to move corpses. Move corpse, here we go. I'm gonna move him out of there and put him over near the airlock with the alien corpses. Let's put him over there so I can at least see where he's at. So I was looking at options for buying energy. We still have lots of it though. At this point we're good. We could start doing like major hull expansion at this point, but I want to make sure that we don't exceed our hyperdrive capacity and we are able to sort of conserve fuel here a little bit. I think I actually want to expand our hyperdrive capacity since we have the time and opportunity to do that. Let's finish our last hyperdrive down at the back here. I say last, but we'll probably end up expanding it later as the ship continues to grow. We actually are slightly overweight here, so it's a good thing. It's a good time for us to do that. Okay. See if the power network covers there. Sure enough, it does not. We're gonna go ahead and break this link, and then link that back over here. Yeah, that'll be alright. Yeah, we got our new hyperdrive online, so as soon as it's fueled up, now I got 4,000 mass to work with. And I think we're getting close to being done in this sector. Now we could start taking apart the ship and salvaging it. The question is, do we really need anything? I think we should probably take all the energy scrap and we should work on processing that as we travel. We might set that on continuous production. We also, I just noticed, have a ton of biomatter, so it might be worthwhile to either eject some of it to make cargo space or to get a composter pretty soon. We still have over 100 cargo capacity though, so I'm not super worried about it. I think processing some energy scrap will help, so we're going to set that on continuous just to give us more blue crystals. And we're just going to salvage some energy scrap and soft scrap from over here. We're not going to take infra scrap. We will take whatever tech scrap we happen to salvage, or hull scrap. So we should see a bunch of our guys go over to that ship and start pulling it apart shortly here. Unfortunately, there's no way to take over a ship that belongs to another faction. We can't take that ship and claim it as our own, which would be pretty cool. It's nice that our crew can work over here comfortably without spacesuits or anything. Fire on board the Auriga. Another industrial fire caused by Penny. I think she has a bunch of debuffs because she's wounded and low energy and so forth. We're gonna have Lauren drop this water unit that she's carrying and go help. Oh, looks like Penny's got the fire out already. That's fine. We should probably have Penny take a snack break and maybe rest a little bit for the day to get rid of some of her debuffs. Oh, it's the end of the day for everybody anyway. We need a bigger table for our crew, I think. We gotta expand our crew quarters a little bit, or at least rearrange some things. Trying to think about how we can do that here. I think if we just move our algae dispensers over, like maybe against the wall, like here, then we should have a little more room to work with. Yeah, we can put stuff up against the backs of the algae dispensers. The algae dispensers are just there for emergencies anyway. We really want to draw most of our food from the kitchen here. This will give us room to put like another table and chairs in the middle so that more of our crew can have time to eat properly. And I think are we still salvaging over here? We are. Okay, so that construction's done. Let's go ahead and we want to also think about fitting more beds at some point, but I don't know if I need to do that right this minute. Let's go ahead and see what furniture we can fit in here. I think this would be an efficient use of space to have a table next to this power node, because we can put the chairs here, and then we won't have an area that's blocked off in between them. And then we can even put another chair over there, I think. Yeah, and then people can still get around it to get to all the beds and everything. There we go. So now we got a little cafe going where our crew can be comfortable. And I think if we move this thermal regulator over a little bit, we're going to eliminate this light. And I think we're going to have room for one extra bed up against the wall here. And you can put in some windows to provide starlight from outside. Oh, we need to get rid of this one too, I guess. It's going to be a little dark in this corner of the room until we get the starlight windows installed. Let's see if we can get by with just one window for now. And let's go ahead and put some light on this wall as well. There we go, that seems good enough. It's a little bit dim in this area. But yeah, that's pretty good. It gives us room to have more crew members, which is good because we're about to be trying to recruit people here. These guys are only at 2%. It usually takes some time for prisoners to get recruited. See, we've taken apart the generator on board the ship here, so it's out, the power's out now, and everybody's relying on their suits again instead of life support. Might be able to sell some weapons to the military alliance ship when it gets in the sector. Cultists weren't terribly well armed. Okay, here we go. So the keep on keeping on. What have we got for us? They have tech locks for sale, which we don't necessarily need right now, but it's good to know. They have energy crystals for sale, which we could maybe buy a couple, but we're not desperate for them. We have lots of carbon and we can sell them some plastics. They don't have carbon for sale, sadly. But we'll sell them some plastics in exchange for some energy crystals. Just to keep us going a little bit longer. And I think that'll be about it here. We're actually still developing surplus food, even though we have prisoners on board, which is pretty good. I think we have enough grow bed space, maybe, for everybody. We'll see how that pans out over the next couple of days of game time. So salvaging, unfortunately, the...
God, he's whacked.
Hey, Eunice Crimson, thanks for the follow. Welcome on board. We're just waiting for the salvage to finish at this point. We could expedite if we were really in a hurry, but we're not really in a hurry. We're still working on our medbay research, which fortunately we didn't have a desperate need for. After that first boarding combat, we could have potentially lost a crew member there if we got unlucky. I think we're going to put, once we get the research done, we're probably going to put like one medical bed in the corner here. We don't have the capability to produce medical supplies. There's two types of medical things. There's IV fluid, and then there's the regular medical supplies. You need both in order to take care of an injured crew member or prisoner. We don't have the capability to produce more, so we're relying only on what we have in our stores right now that we picked up from derelicts and so forth. The thing that we're missing... Okay, we're actually done salvaging here, so we're ready to ship out. Let's go check out the next sector. I think we're ready to hit the alien sector. Alien sector is up this way. So we want to take this path down here. The alien sector is a pretty dangerous place. We got to be careful what derelicts we board and what derelicts we sit next to without boarding. We can potentially get our crew in a lot of trouble. It's probably the most dangerous area in the game, usually. Raw chemicals are a nice pickup here. We'll go ahead and scoop those up. No derelicts so far. Usually the alien sector will have a lot of derelict ships. And there's one famous derelict called the IRS Mary Shelley that will contain boatloads and boatloads of aliens that hopefully we'll run into soon here. Another fire on board. These guys are clumsy. That's alright. They put it out quick though. I can't wait to have these new crew members to really help out our logistics and everything. I'm wondering, over the next couple of days, we still got to keep track of our food balance and see, you know, if we can get up to 16 of every type of food, then we're good. If we end up having, like, full supplies of one type and being almost out of another type, then we might have to adjust which how many grow beds of each we have. I think we're going to need more artificial meat, probably. Got our raw chemicals. 5 engines, I've only ever needed 3. What even is your ship? I don't know. It's a whole mess. I'll show you why I have 5 engines in a second. So I actually started this from the platform start, which is like the default start. So that's why it has this kind of weird shape, because I have the hangars lined up on the left side in the middle here. It's sort of like it eventually is going to be symmetrical, but I don't really want to spend the extra mass and hull blocks. The reason that I have all these engines is because of fuel efficiency. If you click on this ship icon up here, you can see that there's a mass limit. So we're at 3,200 something mass units out of 4,000 now. The total mass unit limit is determined by the number of engines and the rating of the engines that you have. Each of these things is worth a mass capacity of 800. Now, you can fly the ship if it's over your mass capacity, but it increases the amount of fuel that you spend per hyperspace jump. So it's better to not go over your limit. So that's why I have so many engines. Now, obviously, it depends on your ship design. If you just want to build like a very minimal ship to just fly from one end of the galaxy to the other with maybe a little Hyperion mining, you could probably get away with just having a 2 or 3 engine ship. But eventually, if you're building all the industry and weapons and everything, eventually you want to expand. Okay, so we just got the medical bed online. I think I want to get the logistics robots because that's a cool thing that's relatively new that I really want to show you guys. Water collector saved my butt and got me money. Yeah, for sure. Water collectors are expensive in terms of electricity, but they can really help you out if you're going through water very quickly. Currently we have a lot of ice on board, so we don't have to worry about it too much. And at some point we're going to want to get a composter online just to get these biomatter units out of our cargo bay. But I think water collector is usually one of the last things that I research because it's not super essential to the ship's functioning. It's an efficiency thing that's useful when you have a huge number of people and a lot of grow beds on your ship so that you don't use up water as quickly. So, if you have like a crew of 12, solar collectors are great. Yeah, solar collectors are a lot of fun. Solar build is like a whole different kind of ship. Like, instead of you know, running off of blue crystals and collecting them constantly. You're like scrabbling for tech blocks, trying to get enough blocks to get all your solar panels built. And then you have to get batteries online to store the solar energy so you can use it when you need it. And it changes the way that you play the game in a way that's really interesting, which I like. You want to stick to the sectors that are closer to the sun so that you have more energy efficiency and so forth. And of course you can combine both energy methods if you want to. What are we producing right now? I think we've caught up with our industry at this point. We got everything that we need. We just got the medical facility research. We should get at least one medbay online, I think. Hybrid is best. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like to have, even if I'm doing like an all-solar ship, I like to have one generator as like a backup, so that if I get to an outer rim sector that doesn't have good solar, yeah, I can still power the ship that way. Okay, so we got a medbed here. It's not the most comfortable space, but it's just a convenient place where we can put it. We'll put a little bit of a light there. And we can get more med beds later if we need them. Now that we have the technology. Carbon. We actually used up quite a lot of carbon here. Mostly because of our CO2 production, I think. Let's see if our guys are ready to recruit yet. 3.2%, 4.1%. Let's see this. So as soon as you activate the recruitment, it's a toggle. So once you toggle this on, each day a crew member will come in and try to recruit that prisoner, and see if they'll join the crew, and then they'll make a roll, either a chance to convert or a chance to rebel. The chance to rebel doesn't show up until you start recruitment. So right now, Anna Cortez Heath has a higher chance to rebel and fight the crew members on board the ship than to be converted. So we're going to not try to recruit her just yet. But around 5% is when we're going to get started with that. Okay, let's see here. We have a Slavers Guild in the sector, so we have to be a little bit cautious. Have some Hyperium and carbon up there. We don't need that right away, but we're going to want to scoop that up before we leave the sector. This nebula with a derelict in it is going to be a good place for us to stop. We're basically following in the shadow of that Slavers Guild ship and hoping that they don't reverse course. Okay, we're going to park as close to the derelict as possible so we can get aboard quickly and see what's what. Now, we have to keep in mind here that we're in the alien sector, so we're going to send both of our away teams and try to be as smart about this as possible. And again, I'm leaving one crew member on board the ship in order to take care of like routine logistics to keep the generators running and keep the grow beds operating and all that kind of stuff. But everybody else is going to go with the away teams. So we're risking our whole crew for this endeavor, whatever it is that we're doing here. We're expecting to encounter heavy resistance. Alien sector ships tend to have multiple nests of aliens on board, so far we're not seeing anything terrible here. We're going to go down this way because this is like a little narrow choke point that we don't want to send our dudes through. We want to focus on the big guys first because they can reach us out here when we're in vacuum. Okay, we took care of him quick. I think I saw another big guy in the back there. Let me see if we can blast through a hole in this wall to give us more visibility. Okay, we see another big guy. I'm gonna try to shoot him whenever he's in sight here. There we go. Okay. I think we've got through the most difficult part of this so far. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this off here. This wasn't as bad as I was worried about. Could have been a lot worse. Okay, we've completed exploration of the Apocrypha. Let's undraft. Crew to board and take over from within instead of shoot down myself. Yeah, taking over from within. We actually just did that with a Cult of New Haven ship in the previous sector. It saves a lot of energy in terms of like energy you would spend firing weapons, and it makes it easier to take prisoners afterwards, so you don't have to worry about the prisoners running out of oxygen. And the prisoners will also have access to medical facilities depending on what the other ship has on board. So what do we get here? We basically just took everything in one trip, so I don't even know what we picked up here. We're going to take soft scrap because we might need that. And then might also expose some food. We should start getting some more soft blocks through recycling, I think. We're going to take energy scrap. We're not going to take infra scrap. And that's probably about it. I think we should... Let's set soft scrap production if we have less than 10 soft blocks. Always a little drafty at first, yeah. Still not ready to convert these guys yet. I think they're pretty comfortable, though. We can actually check their comfort level. So they're feeling comfortable and safe right now, which is pretty good. This person ate too much and got rejected romantically. So that sucks for them, but it's not really relevant to our recruitment efforts. Wondering if we should build a third hull stabilizer, or we should just wait until we have like shields available. Probably we should just wait for shields. I think two hull stabilizers is enough for us to get by for now. Yeah, bad table manners for sure. Especially when you have such a tiny room with this little tiny table. You have to sit with that person afterwards for like the next 10 days until you decide to join the crew. Maybe they'll be recruited onto the crew just to get away from each other, hopefully. Okay. So as soon as the salvage is done, then we're good to leave the sector, which is now. That was our first alien sector exploration. We have another derelict in the neighboring sector here, which we can check out if the Slavers Guild doesn't bother us. They're coming into the sector, so we're going to pass through them here, and then stop in this next sector and scoop up the resources here instead. We'll come back to the derelict as soon as the Slavers Guild leaves, which hopefully they'll have done by the time we finish mining here. We can also trade with the Merchant Alliance while we're here. AS2 pick. Okay. That doesn't seem like the best ship name in my opinion. Okay. Let's see. I think I might want to pick up a couple more medical supplies, but they don't have any available for sale here. How are we doing on food? We seem to be managing okay. I think we're building up a surplus of everything except meat, so that's fine. We don't... These guys have relatively cheap hyperspace crystals, but we don't actually need to buy any, so we're going to save the money. We could buy some more soft blocks, but we've got scrap for that, so we don't really need to. So we're just selling them some extra plastic for profit. Remember, prisoner can always be spelled raw materials in space. That's true. You can always execute your prisoners and put their bodies into a composter, and they're worth about 1.5 units of water, I think, and a little fraction of a unit of like raw chemicals and carbon. So But, I mean, these are all actually really good crew members. I think I'm looking forward to having them on board. They're all botanists, I think, and one of them also has industry, and they're pretty brave as well. For the recruitment effort, yeah. Well, we don't have the, we haven't researched composting yet, so we don't have that to encourage them. That's true. They haven't seen the whole ship. Looks like all of our crew members are productively engaged. Nobody's wandering around idle, which is pretty good. I'm looking forward to getting the robot online. We should figure out where we're going to put the robot. Let's build a little bit more hull. I think I want the robots to be near the industry section. We might do a little bit of rearranging here. I want to finish out this to give us just a little bit more crew area. And then this is going to eventually be a weapon of some kind, probably energy turret. And then I think we're going to expand out this section and move the industry machines around. Hopefully we can move them a little bit further away from the crew quarters to increase the comfort over here. AR Rebellion, that's right. Gotta be prepared for that. Okay, so we're gonna move this thermal regulator so that we can get rid of this wall. Actually, let's put that... That's okay for now, I guess. Alright, now this section is accessible, so we can start thinking about moving our industry stuff back here. The chemical refinery, I feel like we don't use a lot. So we're going to go ahead and cancel all this stuff. I'm going to move the chemical refinery back here. I want to keep the energy refinery kind of centrally located, I think, because we use that a lot. And we're going to put another large power node in here, in this gap in between. Let's link these up like this. And I'm going to break this link and then link these across like that. So we have a larger overall network with more loops in it for redundancy. And then I think our robots are going to go kind of in this area here. I want to move the item fabricator away, if we can manage that somewhere. Let's see. I think this is an okay location for it. We could also move it back here, but then we'd have to take all this stuff off the wall, which I don't necessarily want to do. Although, we have room for it on this wall. Let's see about that for a second. So if I move this over here, and then I move this light, or just delete it, then I can put the item fabricator in this little corner over here. There was Slaver's Guild ship coming into the sector. That was the one that was in the neighboring sector hanging out with the derelict. So now that they're headed here, we're going to let everybody rest for a couple hours, and then we're going to jump over into the derelict sector. We'll dismantle this light first thing in the morning when the crew wakes up. And we can hover over this little icon here to see how many hours until they arrive. So we're going to leave like 2 hours grace period here, which gives the crew just enough time to finish resting and then eat. And then we can prepare for a hyperspace jump. If we wanted to be super efficient, what we could have done actually is move our guys into the shuttles and have them ready to launch when we arrived. Isolate refineries have an air scrubber in it. More efficient chemicals can keep scrubber off most of the time to save power, to build up unbreathable air to prevent fires. That's what we did with the recycler. We could do that with the other industry stuff. I kind of don't like to do that too much, though, because it also reduces the industry efficiency because of the spacesuit penalty. Or at least it seems that way to me. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and park our dudes in the back here in this hole in the hull. Yeah, that'll work. Can't believe it let me park the shuttles on top of each other like that. It's a bit weird. Okay. Oh, we're right in the middle of the hive. This is where we want to be, actually. This will enable us to quickly destroy a whole bunch of eggs before they can hatch. Let's actually move over here and get rid of this egg. The big eggs, I think, are the ones that have the big eyes in them, so we want to kill those as quickly as we can. Oh, there's a big guy. Yeah, I think Woodrow's alright. We got enough firepower there to help him out. Beautiful. Okay. So we cleared the whole nest before any of the eggs hatched. I like to see that. It might have been one egg hatching for that from that big guy. Oh, we got one more egg over here. There might be another nest at the other end of the ship, but I'm not seeing a lot of aliens, so I doubt it. Ooh, and we got another crew member. That's pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and claim that now, in case we have to leave in a hurry or something. Krista is good at construction. She's smart but not brave. She's a good gunner and operations person. Welcome aboard, Krista. Yeah, we'll have these guys explore this little side carter here. Very good. So, again, on drafting. We got some energy rods, which is really nice. And an energy block, which is pretty good. Always have more time, not so much with chemicals. Also, fire sucks for multiple reasons. That's true, yeah. Yeah, so if we wanted, we could, which I have done on some playthroughs, you could build an entire industry section that's completely airless, so that you don't get fires in your industry, and you don't get, you know, like a huge risk from accidents. And it also, as you mentioned, helps with chemicals, chemical production a little bit. What do we got here? We need to dismantle this wall to eliminate that blocked area. There we go. I think we're going to move all the beds back one against this wall. Also, with 2 airlocks, less interference from come and go. That's true, yeah. I do want to have a second airlock on the ship at some point. I haven't decided where to put it yet. I usually want to have airlocks near storage, but all the storage is over here, and there's not really a great place to put a second airlock over in this area. So... Oh, the Cult of New Haven has shown up here. This is a big ship, the CNHS Malcontent. What we're going to try to do here is hail them and see if we can get a ceasefire without any charge. If we can, then we'll keep that ceasefire and then maybe board them in a minute or two. Otherwise, we've been caught with our pants down and it's time to go. No, they want to charge us 5,000 credits, which is a huge amount of money. So we're not going to do that. We're going to let them shoot at us for a minute here. We're going to prep for jump. Make sure our guys get back on board as quickly as possible. We're gonna now, so they're hailing us and asking us to shut down our hyperdrives. Because we have people that are not on board the ship right now, we're gonna do that in order to stall for time. Now they're calling us, and we're just gonna wait and not answer their hails right away. It'll also give us time to regenerate our hull a little bit. So we're gonna pretend like we're gonna play nice with them, but not really. Where's our other shuttle? Nope, you don't need to be there right now. You need to be in the dock. Let's go to red alert on nav, so as soon as those guys are on board, we can be prepared to leave. Okay. So we have somebody sitting at nav. We're ready to leave. Now our health is basically at full, so we can either board and fight these guys, or we can run. Since these guys are huge and outgun us, I think we're going to run for now. When our ship's a little more durable, we'll take them on later. So we've declared war on them by defying their demand that we surrender. But we made a quick escape, so it's all good. And we pretty much got what we came for. We're gonna try to dodge the Slavers Guild here. Nope. That's okay, we got somebody on the nav console already. We're just gonna jump out of the sector again right away. We could try to board the Slavers Guild ship. Kiss our collective keysters, that's right. Yeah, why not? Let's board the Slavers Guild. Our ship's not really damaged or anything. I think we can manage it. Okay, so we're going to turn our nav off of red alert, turn back to auto. Because we want our remaining guy on board the ship here too. Oh. We actually want to hail the slavers and try to get a ceasefire if we can. We haven't got everybody... they want to charge us. This is interesting. They give us two options. We can either pay a ton of credits or we can pay half as much credits and some hyperfuel. Okay, we got both shuttles loaded now. Let's go. So we're in a race against time here. They're bombarding our ship and destroying our hull. We want to get there and get on board and do at least enough to them. Okay, they're proposing a ceasefire. We're okay. I'm okay with it. We could have actually brought Krista on board, but that's 2020 hindsight. Shuttles are already in flight now. So they're calling us, trying to negotiate surrender terms while we're moving over there to board them. Now that we're in position and ready to go, let's revisit that whole fighting concept. Got everybody. Did we get everybody from both shuttles? We did. Okay, so I think the Slavers Guild ships have a split bridge. I think half of it is over here and the other half is over here. I think the one that we want to get to is this one, if I remember correctly. Unfortunately, we have to go through the cafeteria, which is usually the most crowded area of the ship for that. Can we get over there some other way? We can. I will have fun. Okay, here we go. So we're on board the bridge. We managed to get there relatively unhindered. We have a slave here. Now this person's in orange, and you can see the little slave icon. They're no threat to us. Don't have to worry about fighting them. Okay. We've already gotten surrenders from 2 members of their crew, so that gives us a bit of an advantage. The only problem with the Slavers Guild ship, though, is that it's kind of a tight, bunch of tight, narrow corridors. We have another Slavers Guild ship coming in the sector as well, so we're gonna make quick work of this ship. Okay, Cronus has surrendered. We have a limited amount of time here. I could use a medical bed if we wanted to, but I want to clear the ship right now. I'm more worried about that than about... I'm a bit worried about Woodrow's health, so I'm going to have him hide in the corner back here. And there's an option where you can kneel and take cover, so we're going to do that. Okay, but by the time we did that, the combat's over, so whatever. Let's talk to these guys. Now, the ceasefire settlement might be a good option in this case because we have another Slavers Guild ship entering the sector in the next couple of hours. That would enable them... We would be able to get back to our ship quickly, and they would be using their manpower to send us resources instead of us using our manpower to try to get stuff off the ship. But they're not really offering us much in the way of resources here. 1 seeds and nuts, 1 water, 3 hyperfuel, and less than 300 credits. So I don't think we're gonna do them that favor. Okay. So with that done, we need to explore the ship as quickly as humanly possible here. Slaver's Guild ships are a pain to explore because they have a lot of very small compartments. We're gonna get Woodrow. Actually, Woodrow is gonna take some prisoners here. I'm just gonna take them all for right now. We'll figure out which ones I actually care about keeping later. Okay, and while he's going over there, we're gonna have Lenny take the other 2 prisoners. And let's have... We also want to talk to the slave. What faction are they from? Let's see. They're from the Android Collective, so we can free them and bring them on board as a refugee. Free all slaves and make them refugees, allied and neutral factions. Prisoners you don't need can also be raw materials, that's true. So this guy, so we have our first refugee. Refugees operate more or less like prisoners, except that they can't really be recruited as crew members. The idea is you want to bring them on for a short while to help with logistics, which they will do. And then once they've been on the ship for a while, you want to eventually give them back to another friendly ship of the same faction. So this guy's an android, so we want to find an android ship to offload him. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, we actually have another prisoner over in the hallway here that I forgot about. Oh, I guess he left the bridge. So Lenny's going to go collect him. And go there. And then we're going to bring one more person over there. This shuttle's got to go back and drop off the prisoners. Now, we're bringing on board a bunch of new people, so we might not have enough food for everybody. Might have to increase our grow beds. But hopefully we should be able to recruit the guys we've got from the previous ship pretty soon. Evan, what are you doing, buddy? He's getting oxygen from the airlock, I think. There we go. At this point, we've only got 3 hours before the slavers get here. Let's figure out what's priority. I think we want energy stuff as a priority. We want food as a priority. And we want medical supplies as a priority. And I also want some of these energy cells because we're going to be using them for the robots. And hyperfuel. So basically all the stuff except for construction materials. We have enough bland food for prisoners. Yeah, I mean, we'll be okay for a while. But we ultimately want our production to match our actual crew complement, right? I'm going to expedite these transfers, and everybody is going to bed right now, which is not what I really want. I really need these guys to be up and working for the next, like, 6 hours. With the possible exception of Woodrow, who's bleeding and needs rest. Yeah, we're going to let Woodrow rest. Looks like we're not going to have time to salvage. We might be able to get a ceasefire. And Kronos, you can see Kronos is using the medbed here. Let's take a look at Kronos for a minute. So he has an open wound, which is regressing. His food is not terribly low. If we look at the overview of the medbed, it takes 2 kinds of supplies, like we said, the medical supplies and IV fluid. IV fluid basically provides food and complete nutritional value to the person that's on the bed. And then the medical supply is consumed when a doctor uses the healing skill or the medical skill on them. So we need a healthy supply of both. Honestly, considering our situation right now... Oh, we actually have 4 guys over here still. That's not good. We have a shuttle on the way to pick them up, though. See how much stuff we can quickly offload. We can survive 1 or 2 hits from the Slavers Guild ship, unless it's a huge one. How much stuff do we still have to offload? I think we got a full airlock at this point. We got a second shuttle that should be on the way. We're gonna need 2 shuttles worth of people anyway, because we have 5 people that need to get on board, so gonna wait for the second shuttle. And Penny's gonna continue putting resources into the airlock while we're waiting for the second shuttle. Okay, now we have the SGS Mistake Not coming into the sector. We're gonna hail them and try to get a ceasefire, although it's unlikely they'll accept unless we pay them. We're not really in a... they want 4,000 credits. So we're gonna do the same thing as before. We'll wait till they shoot us up a bit and demand we shut down our hyperdrives. And then we'll accept that and then make our escape. I'm gonna set Penny to sleep so that she gets back on board the shuttle as soon as she's done carrying that one box. And then we're going to go to Red Alert. I'm going to cancel all transfers. We could take over. That's definitely an option. Let's have everybody sleep for like an hour. We're going to give our new crew member, Krista, a weapon here, and we're going to add her to the second away team. And unfortunately, she's right by storage here. Oh, we've only got pistols available. That's unfortunate. Thought we would have had a rifle by now. Okay, so let's get our crew members on board the shuttle. And we'll get the other half of our away team on board the shuttle. Oops. They moved out of the dock for some reason. Let's try that again. Okay, so going straight into another boarding combat here. Hopefully we can make it over there before they get suspicious and decide to fire on us. I think we can. We definitely have the firepower. It's unfortunate that Krista only has a pistol, since she was a pretty good fighter, as I recall, but if somebody else surrenders, we can always trade weapons with them. So there's that at least. And again, we're going to make a beeline for the battle bridge over on the starboard side of the ship here. And avoid the cafeteria if we can. Oh, good. We get 3 guys that we can capture this time. So we're going to go here. Gonna go here, and let's have Woodrow, who's a wounded guy, capture one of them. Gotta make sure that our other guys, except for Woodrow, are ready to continue fighting. Oh, I didn't mean to move Catherine. Sorry, Catherine. I lost track of who's going after what. Okay, I think we got them all surrendered now. Maybe. Yeah, we good. Okay, so we just took over 3 of their crew with no effort because they were busy manning their ship systems, trying to shoot at us. Let's see if we can find the rest of them. I'm gonna try to get our guys... I don't want to go into that hallway. I'm gonna get our guys to walk down that hallway. There we go. Now, a nice little trick here, if you want your guys to stop moving and face in this particular direction, you can hit the C key. That gets them to all look over that way. So when a guy comes in, you can be ready to fire. Oh, we're looking the wrong way, as it turns out. We're gonna back Woodrow up a little bit. Since that guy is walking the other direction, I'm gonna have Eden pop through the door and shoot at him in the back. And let's send a couple other guys as well. What the heck? Looks like he's got a shotgun, which is not great for us. I'm gonna be careful engaging him. Okay, we got him. Freaking Rambo here. Yeah, I know. This was the last guy on board. Let's talk to them and negotiate their surrender. They're giving us a lot of resources here, and that's going to save us a lot of trouble in logistical terms. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the ceasefire this time so we can finish salvaging the other ship, and we don't have to take a whole bunch more people on board. This also gives us the opportunity to release captive crew in exchange for resources, which is kind of a cool benefit. So we can go ahead and undraft our dudes and let them go back. Unfortunately, this means we're not going to be freeing Terrence here. Maybe. Yeah, okay. Actually, we did free him. What faction is he, though? He might be a cultist. I think he's a cultist, that's why he's fighting us here. Doesn't give me the option to look. Hey guys, could you help me against this dude who's shooting at me? There we go. I wonder what this guy will do now. Yeah, he was a cultist, no wonder. Okay, so we can queue the transfers over on the other ship here. Now we can just transfer everything. We don't have to worry about which things we're taking. I notice their crew is all working to load up the airlock to send us the surrender settlement. We have a lot of prisoners now. Let's check our recruitment chances. We could start recruiting Anna. Eddie is our refugee. Oh, actually, no, he's a prisoner, but he's a ceasefire status, his faction, so we could start recruiting Askov. So notice it's a 6% chance to convert and only 4% chance to rebel. And then we can start recruiting Hawkeye, who's a little bit harder to recruit, but we're going to work on him anyway. I also want to make sure that I have the zoning set up for the refugees, so let's check on that real quick. We want to use the same area for the refugees that we use for the prisoners. They could share a space here. Take it all RPG hero style. Yeah, we could do that. But I don't know, I'm lazy. It's a lot of logistical work that I don't want to do right now. No, we don't have a big need for water right now. We did use up about half of our ice, though. I'm debating whether we can try to figure out whether we can free up space by ejecting composts, but we don't necessarily have to. We could also reduce our food burden by ransoming back some of the prisoners that we got. The ones in yellow here are the ones that are from the Slavers Guild. So we have... Eddie is a suicidal crew member who's not good at anything, so I think we're going to ransom Eddie back to the Slavers Guild. Matthew is good at industry and construction, so we're going to hang on to him. And then Shirky is lazy, but a miner and a gunner, so... I don't know. Excuse me one moment. Oddly enough, they will. Okay, so we're gonna ransom back Eddie and Shirky. Right? I mean, crew members with a suicidal trait can be very valuable, depending on their skill set. They just need a little bit of extra, like, rest and a little bit of extra time to eat to make sure that they don't have, like, big negative conditions. But this guy doesn't have any skills. Which... you have captive crew members. So releasing Edie. What are they paying? Ooh, some meat. We'll take it. And who was the other one? Shirky. More meat. Yeah, why not? And we get getting some carbon out of the deal too. Okay, that's pretty good. So this battle was a really good deal for us overall. We don't need Eden to be on nav all the time. Let's switch that off. There we go. The prisoner area is getting pretty crowded over there. Shirky should be departing shortly, though, as soon as the... That was two separate transactions to... So the shuttle's going to come get Edie, and then it's going to come back for Shirky. There's Shirky going now. Yeah, we need another airlock at this point. It's getting backlogged. Fortunately, we're going to have the robot soon to help with that. Okay, we're working on getting the last couple of cargo units off of the Slavers Guild ship. So just giving you a quick look at the whole layout of the Slavers Guild ship. These things here are the enslavement facilities where they convert prisoners into slaves. You know, we got the cargo hold over here. The bridge is over on the starboard side. I actually thought it was split, but it's not. All four stations are over here. The crew quarters are split up into a couple sections. Actually, no, I think these are the crew quarters, maybe, and the kitchen, and then these are the slave quarters. And then this is the slave kind of living area, their kitchen, and their airlock for their emergency suit locker and stuff like that. And then we've got engineering back here. It's kind of a nice, like, compact looking... It's a very aesthetically pleasing design. Although, as always, I'm not fans of the Slavers Guild. So we take the opportunity to thrash them whenever we can. And we're so backlogged on logistics right now. Is it because our storage is full? It is not. We should think about ejecting some stuff, or maybe using up some salvage. Yeah, we're gonna eject like 50 units of biomatter. That should free up some space for us. So biomatter is like... Yep, they're tired. I mean, they just fought 2 boarding actions in a row. Of course they're tired, right? They need a break sometime. Alright, are the crew still eating monster meat? Because I said that earlier before we had food. So we're mixing in a little bit of mystery meat in with our regular diet of artificial meat here, which is always fun. A waste of the alien meat, you mean? Ah, it's like a 1%. They don't even notice. Look, there's no debuffs. It's all good. Just supplementing their meat income because we don't have that much meat on board. Oh, you're talking about ejecting the biomatter. Yeah, for sure. We need compost. But we're not like really hard up for water right now, so we just need the cargo space more than we need the stream of poop meteorites that are currently coming out of our airlock here. I only ejected 50. I didn't eject the entire supply. That makes you feel any better. We're gonna pick up some more energy scrap here and soft scrap, just like we have been. Oh, what, the compost? Yeah, we could eject them at an enemy ship, right? That'd be pretty cool. The ultimate attack that the other ship does not want to get hit by. Flying boxes of biomatter. We dismantled a kitchen here, so some extra food is available. That's pretty nice. So we've been hit with frozen. Yeah, for sure. I always like to think that whenever I do that, it comes back to haunt me as a meteorite shower later in another sector. We've got our first prisoner recruit here, Askov. Askov is a botanist who is also a good candidate for our away teams. Let's see if he's better than any of our current members. Krista actually is not very brave, contrary to what I thought I remembered from earlier. So we're going to replace Krista on the away teams with Askov. Do we have any rifles at this point? We do. So Askov's going to go pick up a rifle. We can let Krista keep the pistol. As a thank you for her service, I suppose. Here we go. Return fire. Pants down now. Yeah. That's pretty dangerous. Things they don't tell you about on Star Trek. Oh, we don't have enough oxygen. Okay, so I'm getting this little warning here. This exclamation point is small but important. If you look at our overall oxygen supply, we can see that it's dwindling across the ship here because we have more people on board than we have oxygen generators. We're down to like in the 70s here. We really want to be like in the 100s or the 150s. So we're going to need to build another oxygen generator at least, maybe two. I've been wanting to kind of rearrange the life support anyway, so I'm thinking what we might do is make this area like a life support area, and then we could put the robots kind of in the center section here. It'd also be nice to have a supplemental life support area for the prisoners, but we haven't really left room for that in terms of our hull, because I wanted to make this a weapon system. So we've been hit by an officer. Cookie for those who get that reference. I don't know, is that Spaceballs or something? I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and fill out the rest of this shape here. Simpsons, oh, okay. I mean, when you get right down to it, all references are really Simpsons references. Okay, so we got some space here now. I wanted to put in some supplemental life support for the prisoners section. We need to have some walls, though, to make our prisoners comfortable still. But the question I'm wondering about is, do we want to move this stuff over a little bit now that we have more room, and leave room for a weapon on the corner here? Nah, I think not. I think we're going to leave this the way it is. I'm pretty happy with how it's arranged. So we're going to... life support, not food, is what I'm looking for. So we're going to put some oxygen generators... What is this now? Doesn't want to let me build anything there. Okay, there we go. Just took a minute for the hull to stabilize or whatever. So we're going to build some life support there, and then we're going to build... As soon as that wall is done, we're going to build an air vent going over to the prisoner bathroom, so that they have some more oxygen circulation. Let's look at our oxygen supply. It's getting quite low. Maybe we want to hurry up on these guys. I mean, even if the ship runs out of oxygen, they'll be okay in spacesuits for a while. But I don't want to fly anywhere until this situation here. Oh, we need power. Oops. This should be fine. This one's already powered, so that's good. And now we have substantially more oxygen generation capacity, so we could probably even afford to expand our crew a bit more. And I don't know yet what we're going to do with this area. I think that might be a weapon station still. But we'll see. And then we want an event over here. And then another one over here. Still have not enough oxygen. I think the vent will fix that over time here. Yeah, we're good now. So now the oxygen levels are going back up. It's getting back up into the healthy blue range here. We might need some more ventilation on the crew area. I think we're okay. Let's put one more vent over in the wall over here since we got so much life support on this side now. Gas, gas, gas! Right next to the bathroom, by the way. Yeah. I'm still getting this notice saying there's not enough oxygen, but I think there is. I think it's just taking a while for it to come up to the requisite amount. Okay, anyway, let's look at our transfers here. We found some more supplies on board here. I don't want to take all this infra scrap, though. And I don't want to take this rubble. But we'll take everything else. Hey, ExcuzezMes, how's it going? Good to see you. I think we did take all the tech scrap, didn't we? I'm not specifically salvaging tech scrap, but I'm taking whatever happens to be salvaged as I salvage energy scrap. We actually have a ton of it, so we don't really need to take on any more, now that I think about it. Another fire on board. Suggest setting logistical levels for the O2 generators. I've never had a major issue with stuff being supplied to the O2 gens before. I'd rather the ship be temporarily slightly low in oxygen than, say, like, not having ammo in the energy cannons. Logistics is overwhelmed, so it'd be a really good time to get the robots online. This other group of prisoners is not ready to recruit. It's going. The first two videos are out now. I think the third one is coming out. No, I think the third one came out this week. I set that to release like one video a week, basically. Yeah, we do need a second airlock. I'm just not sure where to put it yet. I think once our ship gets a little bigger, we're gonna do a bunch of rearranging, and then we're gonna put the second airlock in then. But yeah, it's going all right. I have to schedule some more videos. I have a bunch of little short, like, lunch stream sessions that I have to post up still. I think one of them got like 30 views, so that's not too bad for a previously unheard of YouTube channel. Let's see. I think I'm going to leave this open because I think when I go to build the weapons here, there's not going to be enough room to wall it off from the life support, and I'm okay with them being in the same section. I'm really looking forward to having the robots. I think we might let's build another research facility to expedite the robots. Is there any place comfortable that we can build it, is the question. Not really. It's gonna suck for the researchers, but we can build it over in the industrial section. Okay, have a good night, Eunice. Alright, I think we're done in this sector now. Oh, incoming pirate ship. We'll run into them later. I want to check out this area. Yeah, it's a good place to be. I got two ships here. A claimable. One of them's claimable and one of them's not. I'm gonna try to quickly explore both of them. It's unfortunate that it's the end of our day here. I probably should have waited and let the crew sleep first before we went on this away mission. Now, it's theoretically possible that we could try to do 2 away missions at once to the different ships, but I've never felt that that's a good idea. And the couple times that I've tried to do it, it's always been a little bit disastrous. So we're going to send both of our guys to this ship, clear it, and then immediately send them both over to the other ship. Okay, we see a little bit of creep from the nest over on this corner, so we're going to head that way. I'm going to open this and just start firing down range until we clear the area. There we go. Solar flare. Solar flare's not hitting us yet. We're going to have some random amount of time, which is going to be at least an hour before the solar flare hits. We've got a claimable ship, we know. I think we're going to take our chances with the solar flare. Let's go check out the other ship. See lots of aliens on board here, but no nests so far. There's a big guy. We can see through the window there. How do we get over there? Oh, it looks like there's a door on this side. Okay, we're gonna get our guys out of the doorway here and let them charge. See, he noticed that he missed us there, which is pretty nice. Oh, he hit Woodrow, fortunately. We can just use this door as a choke point and let them come in 1 or 2 at a time. It makes our life a lot easier. The MFS Torpedo Bait, what a ship name. Okay, we got some good resources here. Energy scrap, soft scrap again. Question is, do we want to stick around and let the solar flare hit us? Let's expedite transfer here. And I think we're just going to leave the claimable ship alone, believe it or not, because there's no, like, fancy cool equipment here. All we could get from this is soft blocks, which we don't really need right now. And they don't really have any cargo on board. Oh, solar flare. Here it comes. Okay, we're going to shut down the generators, although it's probably too late. We're going to close our vents. We're going to have everybody wear spacesuits. Okay, and let's slow things down a little bit. I wonder if the refugees will help with firefighting. I bet they will. Looks like he's going, yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, it looks like the solar flare is over. So at this point we could bring the power back on, and I think I will. So we have a major fire in engineering, which isn't great. Lenny is trapped in the bathroom, or is just in the bathroom. So these guys are going to go fight the fire in engineering. That's good. Lenny's going for the hangar over here. The bridge is on fire. Fortunately, we have no enemy ships coming into the sector. Okay, it seems like our guys are getting the fire more or less under control, except for Catherine, who feels that it's somebody else's problem for some reason. There we go. We're going to turn off Expedite. And we're going to give all of our people over here 1 hour of free time so that they'll come back to our ship and help with the fire. Might lose some of our grow beds here, but the fire locations aren't too bad. Okay, we can think about opening some of these vents already. These guys are okay over... Actually, let's leave that vent closed for now. This stuff is all okay over here. This stuff can be closed. It looks like we actually are missing a wall tile here. We should definitely fix that when we have the opportunity. Anand has fallen unconscious because everybody's exhausted. That's bad. This is the problem when you run your crew too much on override. You don't give them enough sleep. This is what happens. People get tired and people collapse, and it's not a good time for anybody. Tiberius is going to continue firefighting. I think actually Lenny and Woodrow could be okay to continue for a while. Askov is going to go and rest somewhere. And we're gonna bring them over to here because this area has no smoke or anything. And I'm gonna turn off the suit mandate so that people who are not in these dangerous areas can sleep somewhere comfortable. I think if I undraft these guys, they'll hopefully continue firefighting. There we go. Looks like Tiberius, our refugee here, is doing all the work. Talk about an MVP crew member. Well, this fire was pretty disastrous as fires go. What's our temperature in here like? 292, 178. It's a bunch cooler in here, so we can mitigate the spread of the fire somewhat by opening some of these vents over here and letting the heat spread between these different areas that are already filled with smoke anyway. We really need to get this fixed. Is there anybody who's, like, not exhausted who can do the work? Woodrow can't really. Lenny can. Actually, that's not really the one that we need to fix. It's really this guy over here that's probably the most critical. I'm just clearing his work queue there, and we're gonna have Lenny work on that. And Woodrow needs to go somewhere and sleep. And we're all just going to go pass out over in the grow bed area here till the smoke clears. And hopefully we can get the power node back online so we can get the gas scrubber running. Then we'll be in good shape. Lenny gave up. He was too tired. Where you going, Lenny? Buddy, why don't you go over here instead? This is a better place for you to take a break, I promise. Okay, we're getting some of the people that were on the away mission back on board, that were away doing salvage ops. So let's see if one of them can do the work here. Catherine. Yeah, Catherine's gonna fix this power node. Prisoners are stressed out. They're fighting with each other. But they're threatening to fight anyway. But I saw smoke there for a minute, or fire there for a minute, but it's just smoke. This node is queued for repair eventually, and so is this one. Yeah, it's just going to take a while for the smoke to clear. Now, fortunately, our grow bed areas were completely unaffected. They all survived, so I'm real happy about that. Let's open up these adjacent areas. Is there smoke in that area? I don't think there is. I think this is relatively... There is smoke in this area, yeah, so let's open it up. We'll let smoke flow into engineering, which is where our air recyclers are, or gas scrubbers, rather. People are resting in the grow bed area, which is okay. They're just passing out wherever they can, basically, at this point. But we're past we got the worst of it. We got the fire under control, so everything else is just time. Or it's okay if our crew members have to sleep on the floor for a while before they can get things under control again. Let's not exhaust our entire crew here. Make sure we have people available in case we need to, like, do a hyperspace jump in a hurry or something. What is this icon here? Can't see that because I have a Windows notice on top of that. Claimable ship, okay. Oh, we got a civilian ship, the CS Blind Fury. I don't know if we want to trade with them right now. I think we need all hands on deck here. Let's have these guys sleep as well. Is there too much smoke in that room now? I think there might be. This might not be breathable in here anymore. Or there's no place for them to take their suits off. That's probably what the issue is. Smoke is slowly starting to clear out. I think we'll be okay. Let's try to build another gas scrubber over here if we can manage it. Maybe two. Maybe we can have everybody do 1 hour more work to get the gas scrubber online. Or not. Okay, we're finally starting to get clear areas over here on the starboard side of the ship. We can open this. The prisoners gave up on this area because there was no oxygen in there, probably. They went and passed out in the corner here. Hopefully there were no casualties. I don't think there were. They're just upset because they don't have a kitchen. That's okay. Alright, and the ship is basically back to normal, so... Nice. Alright. Now, everybody, go to bed. We like 6 hours of sleep here, so everybody can recuperate. And then once everybody's recuperated for a couple hours, we're gonna let people eat. That should be enough for now. Let's get some food. Everybody's probably ravenous. I don't think we had enough time for everybody to eat there. Okay, I guess they're okay now. Back to sleep for another 2 hours, and I think we're good to go. Yeah, everybody's feeling much better. Crisis averted, eventually. And we can go back to our regular salvage ops here. Looks like we need some temperature regulation over here. Oh, there's no thing over there. No power, that's what I meant to say. That'll do. You know, we're definitely leaving this claimable ship, right? Yeah, we're leaving it. It's our food supply. We actually still have quite a bunch of food, thanks to the food that we took on board from the couple other ships that we took over. But we're gonna have to expand our grow beds pretty soon, I think. Robots. Almost there. See how these guys are feeling now. 9% chance to convert. 7%. 3%. Our refugee is very satisfied. We're doing okay. I think we need to get another window in here to provide light. Maybe a wall light here as well. Okay, now that we got the robotics online, I think I'm going to dismantle the extra research stations in the industry section. Robotics is pretty exciting technology. We'll show you that in just a minute. Now that I've got robotics, I'm going to proceed up to the next level of the tech tree. In order to power the robots long term, we're going to need the optronics fabricator, which is what we need to produce the energy cells that they run on. So we're going to work towards the optronics fabricator here. The other way we could go is we could get shields, because we don't have shields currently, and that's been a problem every time we get hit by a space hazard. But I really want the optronics online. The Blind Fury is back in the sector again. Okay, let's get the robots. So robots have their own section of the menu here, once they've been researched. The robot station takes up about the same space as an item fabricator or an oxygen generator. And we can kind of just plug them in over here or wherever. Each robot, once the station is built, which takes 2 tech blocks, an infra block, and an energy block, each robot is then going to require a steel plate and a plastic unit to manufacture. And then on top of that, they require an energy cell in order to function. We have 21 energy cells right now because we just took over 2 enemy ships that had energy weapons. So we can see that this robot got built. LRGAWIF5, and he's waiting for a charge. We see this little lightning bolt icon indicates that he has no energy, so he's waiting at his charging station for somebody to supply him with an energy cell. And here comes Lauren with the energy cell. Now he's charging up. And now we have our little space Roomba that's going to wander around the ship and carry cargo for us. So it basically expands the capacity of your crew. It's like an extra crew member. You can even go on board derelict ships and enemy ships that you've taken over and help transfer cargo. So these guys are pretty useful little widgets. They're basically just crew members that only do logistics. And you can't draft them or order them around. They only do what they do automatically. Another nice thing about them is that you can do trade transactions while the rest of the crew is sleeping, because the robots will do that if there's no other logistics tasks to do. They're basically super handy for everything. I think I actually... you can also move these stations. Once the station is rebuilt, the robot will be able to operate in the new station. We can actually fit another 2 stations back to back with these ones if we turn these around to face the shuttle bay. So let's do that. I don't know if we want all 4 built right now, but that'll leave us room to build more. We have 19 energy cells, so we could probably afford to build 4 of them. Okay, as soon as our crew wakes up, we're going to move on to the next sector. Since we got a lot done in this sector, let's save it. Pirate ship coming in next turn. I don't think I particularly want to wait around for them. I'd rather move on. Pick up some Hyperium here and some raw materials. And then we have another derelict in the next sector. I like how the crew continues working while the ship is in hyperspace. Just gonna take everything here. Now you'll notice when these stations are rebuilt, the robot will detect the station and relink with it. So now it has a designated charging station that it can go to again. And let's build a 3rd logistics robot on the opposite side here. We'll leave it at 3 for now. Let's also check our comfort. The logistics stations also generate some discomfort, so we want to be careful where we put them. And we want to be careful what kind of meteor showers we get ourselves into. So let's batten down the hatches, as they say. And let's get our people in their spacesuits. So far, we only got 1 fire in the pod bay. Fortunately, the robots are there to open the pod bay door for us. Right, robots? Seems fine. This robot is waiting for a charge. Okay, meteor shower's over. Okay, we're ready to move on to the next sector here. Hawkeye. Oh, we got our next recruit. So, Hawkeye, what do you do? You will never surrender. You're a miner and a botanist, and you're also really good. So this guy is very accurate and does a lot of damage with guns. And he also has a good negative surrender chance. So he's an ideal member of our away teams here. We're actually going to remove, I think, Penny from the away team and have the new guy, Hawkeye, be his replacement. So Hawkeye and Penny, let's have them meet up, and then Hawkeye can give Penny the weapons here. Now, when we have two crew members standing next to each other, we can click on the inventory tab, and we'll see that the other guy's close by here. So we can just drag the rifle over from one to the other, and then undraft them when we're done. Why do we have a guy? Oh, we're ready to jump, that's why. Yeah, let's move. Oh, this is the Mary Shelley. Okay, here we go. So check out the size of this thing. This is a 2x3 mega flagship that we're going to be exploring. It's got 6 upgraded hyperdrives, operations. There's only one hull in the hull, and then there's an airlock on either side. We're going to see what's on board here. Our crew, it is the end of our day for the crew here, but they're not too tired, so I think we'll be managing okay. We're definitely going to send both shuttles with a full complement, because we're going to need all that firepower. And rather than stopping at the airlocks, we are going to stop over here by this breach in the hull. Now, in an ideal world, we'd have, like, missiles to help bombard the alien ship to soften them up before we land. Or during the boarding action, but we don't have that yet. Haven't done the research. So we're going to take a quick peek and see what the conditions are over here. So far, it looks like we're not in immediate danger. I'm going to be very careful, though, because things can get real sticky real fast on a ship this size. We're going to go ahead and blast that guy to Kingdom Come. Okay, we have the nest. This is the main nest area, I think, in the center here. Fortunately, our guys are pretty good shots, and it doesn't really matter if they miss. Okay, so this could get really complicated really quick, so we're gonna do this in kind of slow motion. Okay, fortunately we managed to clear everything without too much trouble with our 2 full teams of armed dudes here. Oh boy. Okay, so we just fought like 4 of those big guys. Clearing out this enormous hive. We got some more eggs over here. There's just a big old shooting gallery, and we have an extra crew member that we could recruit up there if we needed to, but I think we're gonna wait and take things a little bit at a... Did that egg just appear out of nowhere? I think it did. That was weird. Why can I not open this? There we go. Now this airlock is useful because we can get oxygen from it. I think so, anyway. There we go. We actually used up all the oxygen that was stored in it. It wasn't enough for our entire team. So we're going to want to get to another airlock and find more oxygen pretty soon. You can see everybody starting to get low. We also have a bunch more eggs in this carter, so we're going to blast them first. Okay, that's good. So now we have like multiple airlocks here where we can go get oxygen. I'm gonna send all our guys to clear out this one. Kill that dude. Now we'll get more oxygen from the other side here. Good. Now everybody's got full oxygen. And we still got more in the shuttle hangar if we need it. Let's open this door. Oh, hello. Well, you got lots of friends here. So you can see, like, if you're unprepared, how dangerous this ship can be with all these nests and all these eggs. If you don't clear this stuff quickly, you can really get yourself in trouble. I've definitely lost playthroughs exploring the Mary Shelley and had to give up and start over. Let's top off our oxygen while we're over here. There might be some more eggs in these corners here that we haven't found yet. I think... Yeah, let's clear out the rest of this center area. We kind of just went where the active enemies were, and we didn't really check out everything thoroughly. So there's still some more aliens that we have to kill. We had to kind of bail from this area because of the oxygen shortage. Oh, hello. Sure, that's fine. I have a feeling we still have like one more big fight ahead of us here. It's gonna be in the forward section. Yep, I was right. Let's open that door. Ryan, be careful. Ow. Alright. We still got another nest in the corner here. We'll pick this stuff up as we're on the way over there. And we're on the bridge. I'm just going to undraft everybody because it's the easiest way to get everybody to go find oxygen. I'm going to have one of my dudes go check out this little side room over here while we're in the area. It's unfortunate that the oxygen generator is not online. There's nothing we can really do about it. They're actually going back to their shuttles to get oxygen, which is fine. Shuttles have like thousands of oxygen units. Okay. At some point, if we run out, we completely drain all the ship's oxygen, we might have to go back to our own ship and get more oxygen. But we're not there yet. Okay, we've actually explored all of the Mary Shelley, so I just want you guys to look at this ship and appreciate the size of it and all the stuff that's going on here. These, like, old space liner cabins, this, like, research center this is the first ship that came in contact with the aliens, so this is like the research lab where the alien infestation broke out of first. And we actually have 2 new crew members on offer here, potentially. Let's check that out. So there's one. So we get Pascal and Orlando. Now, Pascal is a gourmand who likes to eat. He's got medical and shielding. He's okay, I guess. Orlando is good at construction and navigation, and he never surrenders. He's a psychopath, so he has a high accident rate, which means we don't want him doing any industry work or anything like that. Let's set that up before I forget about it. So, Orlando, we don't want you doing medical. We don't want you doing construction. We don't want you doing maintenance. We don't want you doing industry. You're going to be logistics and plus the ship management stuff, which is really accident-proof, pretty much. Catherine is unconscious over here and out of oxygen. We should do something about that. So we can give Catherine some of Askov's oxygen here. Okay, now she's up. And it looks like one of our crew members is actually carrying her back to the shuttle. Yeah, so she got loaded on board by a crew member automatically. That's pretty good. We're going to let everybody return back to the ship to make sure we have enough oxygen to do all this stuff. We do have some other airlocks here that still have oxygen. This one, that one, and the shuttle bay over here. So our crew members will be okay over here for a while. We don't have to worry about them asphyxiating. We didn't get much in the way of loot, but, I mean, 2 new crew members is a pretty big score. We also can get some energy scrap, and again, some soft scrap. Do we need soft scrap? We don't actually need it, but we're going to just dismantle the soft scrap in case we find any food supplies. Oh, we have all of our doors closed. Let's open. Let's fix that. Probably help with our life support situation here. Yeah, we're okay. So it's going to take a while for us to get everything off of this because there's so much walking to do to get from one end of the ship to the other. Meantime, we have a couple robots. I think this might be a good time to build a fourth robot. Let's work that logistics. See if we can see any robots doing work over on the derelict. Here we go. So the robots are working through the night as the crew members are sleeping, which is something that I always like. They can also provide each other with energy cells at their charging stations, so that's pretty cool. They're basically super useful. And you want to have as many of them as you can afford to have in terms of your energy. It's interesting, they're loading monster corpses. They have to do it one at a time because the monster corpses can't be stored in the airlock. Let's check our prisoner recruitment chance here. 4%, 4%, 5%. We're going to start working on recruiting Cronus here. Cronus, awesome. What kind of character name is that, anyway? Okay, that fire is already under control. Oh, this is a fire in the airless section, so we're okay there. We're actually out of tech blocks, I just noticed. I guess we use them all building robots here. We're going to take away one of these gas scrubbers to free up a couple tech blocks. We might think about dismantling one of the robot charging stations to get some tech blocks back for that as well. And we also need to dismantle this at some point once our construction queue is caught up. I'm surprised this hasn't been dismantled already, actually. I think this is a bug. There we go. Now it's being dismantled. Did I see a power outage here? Our availability is low almost everywhere. I think our ship is outgrowing the size of our power generators here, so we might need to upgrade those soon. Which the optronics components also brings us closer to, so we're already on the right research path. We also need to start looking for more blue crystals at this point. Out of fertilizer. Did we run out of our chemicals? No, we're good. Our industry is just backlogged because we have so much stuff going on. Brought so many things on board recently. Oh, you know what? Actually, we moved the chemical refinery and we undid all these production rules. That's why. Let's fix that real quick. We need to produce like 6 fertilizer units at a time. How much carbon do we have right now? We have 17. We're going to reduce our plastic production quota from 7 to 5. These guys have any fertilizer, we'll purchase it to tide us over. Doesn't look like they do. We can afford to sell some firearms here. We already have 2 full away teams, so we're going to sell this rifle, and we're going to sell a pile of these pistols. What do we need from these guys, if anything? We could get blue crystals, but it's expensive. They do have an okay price on energy rods. This is what, 270. It's a little bit less than the cost of 2 energy rods, is a little bit less than the cost of 1 blue crystal here, so I think we'll get a couple rods. And then they also have cheap green crystals, so we're going to pick up a couple of those. Not that we really need them right now. but they get scarcer the later we get into the galaxy. So it makes sense for us to stockpile a little bit. Let's look at our whole construction a little bit. I think I want to expand and build like a research area somewhere. What probably makes sense to do is, this is going to be more industry stuff back here. And I think that's going to all be taken up by industry. I don't think that's going to free up any room if we move everything back a little bit from here. Although we might be able to arrange things more efficiently if we have more space. Hold on one second. Alright, sorry, I'm back. So as I was saying here, I want to try to expand a little bit. We're going to move the bridge forward, and then maybe we could have some research stations in the back, I think. Let's go ahead and expand our bridge. I feel like this could be something a little bit nicer. Just give it kind of a little bit of a skyscraper topper here. I don't know if I like that silhouette. What if we do something like this, where we kind of have like a bay on each side? I don't know. Maybe like that. 8. I'm just trying to come up with a shape that looks aesthetically pleasing. I don't know if this is it, but it's kind of okay-ish. I have to rebuild our bridge windows, but that's alright. I'd originally reserved this space for the robots. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it now. I'm thinking I may want to expand the crew quarters and shuffle things around a little bit. We might put stuff in the forward section here that... What's going on here? We're not producing enough energy, I think. We're going to shut down all of our industry stuff temporarily, except for the energy refinery, to deal with our energy outage issues. Wait till the energy situation stabilizes. Okay. Yeah, what we really need to hear is to either upgrade our generators or build a third one. I think for now we're going to build a third one, but I want to upgrade as soon as we can. Or get some solar power to supplement our normal energy income. Yeah, this gives us enough room to get around, so I think this should be okay. We have enough. We're short a tech block. I think we're gonna have to dismantle one of the robot stations or something. What do we want to dismantle here? Yeah, it's gonna have to be a robot station. Sorry, robots. You've served us well in our salvaging operations. Could also dismantle the ops console if we need to, or the research station, but I don't want to get rid of the research station if we don't have to. Okay, so we're going to link this up. Oops. That's the shuttle underneath that I'm clicking on. There we go. Now we should be able to resume our industry operations. A while ago we ran into another ship that had tech blocks available for us, but I think that we're not going to be able to find that ship again easily. I have to find another source of tech blocks. We're out of ice. Shoot. Okay, emergency research change. We need to get composters online. We don't have enough tech blocks to build extra research facilities. We're gonna leave the Mary Shelley since we've got all the most important resources from it, and we're gonna go find some water because we're almost out. And when we run out of water, we run out of oxygen, and we also can't grow any grow beds. Unfortunately, there's no ice for us in this area, so we're gonna have to navigate back to the other system. Let's see if these civilians have any for sale. Usually, most allied or neutral ships will have at least a little bit of water that we can buy. Okay, so we're gonna buy some water for immediate use here. They don't have ice for sale, unfortunately, but we can buy like 20 water units. Or 17 anyway. And then I think we're also going to buy a bunch of energy crystals because we spent a ton of them in that radiation sector while we were working on the Mary Shelley. We have super blocks. I'm going to hang on to those. Those are used to build the jammer, which I'll show you guys once we get the research for that. The jammer prevents enemy ships from attacking you with their weapons, but it also prevents you from attacking enemy ships, which is really useful if you're mainly doing boarding actions. Requires somebody to be stationed constantly at the shield console. Alright, I think we're going to wrap up there for today. Hope you guys had a good time and learned something from the stream. And I want to say thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the session, don't forget to follow if you're watching on Twitch, or subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And hope you have a good evening. Take care, folks.